Hello, hello. Very good evening, good morning, good day to you, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to another live stream with me, 320 Sim Pilot. Great to see you all here. We are about to set off for a flight in the Fenix Simulations A320 in Microsoft Flight Simulator. We're going to take it from Auckland, here in the northern edge of New Zealand, down to Queenstown. So this is a famous flight simulator sort of rite of passage, this route, which is very, very popular with simmers for reasons that hopefully will become obvious. There is some spectacular scenery once we get down to Queenstown for the approach. It's something we've been talking about for a long time on the channel, and that we have not yet got round to doing, and that's my fault. So yeah, it's definitely something we've been looking forward to, and we've now got I wanted to do a Microsoft Flight Simulator for the scenery, so we've got default scenery. When we get there, we do have the payware Auckland scenery, which I bought just before the stream, so we'll have a look at that very briefly in a second. But yeah, and we're gonna just relax, enjoy the flight, have a bit of a chat, go and see what it's all about when we get down there, and put the Fenix through its paces. This is the latest update. It's been updated twice. It had a major update and then a bit of a patch fix after that. So we'll talk about that once we get underway. Oh, there you go. Default scenery is handcrafted. Thanks, Lauren B. So yeah, excellent. Already a good sign. I mean, I have obviously loaded up the sim net, and it does look great anyway. Kelby, thanks so much for your $10 super chat. It's far too kind as ever. Kelby says, let's hope for no issues today with the stream. Fingers crossed, Kelby. So yeah, we have a bit of a safety briefing before we start the streams these days, and that's going to be, if we have trouble with the stream on YouTube, please go to Twitch, 320 Sim Pilot on Twitch, and I stream simultaneously on both, and if we have trouble with YouTube, that's where we go, because that's the one I can fix the easiest. It basically reloads, whereas YouTube, you have to put up a whole new stream. Now that's often possible, but Twitch will be the one that fixes first. So that will be the plan for that. So yeah, so hopefully that won't happen, but if it does, that's what we're planning to do. Grayson Osway is our resident, or not resident, but our friendly air traffic controller, who's kindly come along today to run the control towers. Thank you so much, Feral Demon, for the £10 super chat. Really appreciate it, Feral Demon. That's very kind of you. So yeah, really very kind donations. Thank you, Feral Demon. Thank you, Kelpie. Really appreciate those donations. Thank you for supporting the channel. And I'm glad you're looking forward to the flight. Yeah. So yeah, another one. So thank you to Pol9 for your $23.99 super chat. Have a good flight, everyone, says Pol9. Pol9, really far too kind. Thanks so much. Really appreciate it. I hope you're doing very well. Again, another major supporter of the channel. Really, really very kind of you. Thanks for joining us today, and thank you for those very kind donations. So thank you again to Kelpie and Pol9. Very generous indeed. And Feral Demon, really, really appreciate it. Right, Grayson, yes, New Zealand controller who is already famous. And a celebrity in the flight sim community, very kindly offering to do some tower controlling for us. So really appreciate it. Thanks so much, Grayson Ottaway. And I can only apologise. I am now going to be the New Zealand 613 because ANZ 611 not talking to QNSL. Yeah, so the 611 was already taken when I logged in. So yeah, we will be going as the ANZ 613 for this flight, which I think is a flight that does this, but presumably the later rotation in the day. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. Thank you again for those donations, Feral and Feral Pol9 and Kelpie, really, really very kind. Yeah, so let me make sure I've gathered the bits of chat I need to gather. So just on YouTube, hello Lauren V, thanks for coming along and moderating. Again, thank you to Grayson for coming along to do some controlling. Really, really appreciate it. It's very kind of you to take out your time to do this. I can see a problem. Yeah, Ed, good to see you. Hope you're doing very well. Thanks for joining us, George Lumpkin. Good to see you as well. And yeah, Tyson, James Jackson, I hope all well with you. Four Prawns, good to see you. Four Prawns says, fully psyched for the first VATSIM fly along attempt, and something comes up, I'll have to watch along. Oh no, sorry Four Prawns, but hopefully you can join us next time. Was there? Good evening to you. Bar Joe, great to have you all here. VT Jake, absolutely Ben, great to have you here. Tower is on line 187. Excellent. Right, sorry about this, I just realised something which those of you used to the sim will be used to. So yeah, this is let me get the right name. We'll just have a quick look at the scenery. This is Flight Beam Studios, that's the one. This is Flight Beam Studios Yeah, I have made a mistake with the the server because of the group flight being the last one. Exactly, Lauren V. Yeah, so that's a shame. But yeah, hi James Jackson. We are on VATSIM for this flight, and those of you who've been requesting that I get model matching, I know it's been quite distracting. Every time I've flown in Microsoft Flight Simulator, we've not had that. We are now using the one that the A320 installer comes with, which is called FS LTL. So this is literally the first time I've loaded that up. Looks brilliant. I mean, already that's great. So some of this is static scenery, I know, but some of this is you've got an F-22 next to us, for example. But yeah, so it's hopefully going to be a nice addition to the sim. We shall see how reliable it proves. It probably helps if I turned off the server, but I can't think of a way to do that now without compromising everything else. So we won't do that. We will just live with it, and yeah, maybe we'll turn off the labels. Auckland Airport then, nice scenery, nice jet bridges. Look at that, really detailed. Little person driving it. However, I couldn't make it attach, so I don't know what I'm doing wrong there. And as always, I like to wander through the terminal. Oh, this way. Up we go. Not so much inside. Not a full interior, but a bit of an exterior one. Mateo Chewy highly recommended getting their Wellington scenery, which is something we will do on another hop around New Zealand, no doubt, in the future. VCJ got some crash desktops. Okay, well, yeah, that won't be ideal. Fingers crossed that doesn't happen today. But yeah, this is really nice. It's a nice scenery. FPS seems fine. I'm noticing a little bit of stuttering, but again, when streaming, you're seeing more stuttering on the stream than I'm getting. In fact, you're getting screen tearing as well. So this is becoming a problem with my setup, which is if I have high detail scenery, I get a perfectly smooth image, but what I can see, you're getting huge amounts of lag. So yeah, that is not ideal. It's time for me to upgrade my processor. I think that's what I'm going to have to do, because I'm just asking too much of it. It does mostly manage, but now we're adding in traffic and scenery and all on Microsoft Flight Simulator. We're getting into this trouble a little bit. But look at that, just absolutely stunning. It looks so pretty. Daniel says, hi there, I'm currently cruising to Faro in the A320 fly-by-wire. I'm so happy I found this add-on. Yeah, the fly-by-wire, excellent add-on. We've got to stream that soon. The reason we're in the Fenix today is to test out its VNAV, because that was one of the big criteria we wanted to match. Paul9, thank you so much. Ridiculously generous, so kind. Thank you for the €60 super chat. Really appreciate it, Paul9. I hope you're doing very well. Thanks for joining us today. And yeah, that's far too good. And Gat, thank you for your £2 super chat. Gat says, phew, just made it on board. Evening all. Yes, there's still time. We're still boarding. We started on time today, pretty much by about a couple of minutes, so we have a little time to chat before we start. But yeah, thank you so much, Pol9. Incredibly generous, and thank you to Gat, of course. Really very kind. I'm sure we'll hear from Pol9 as the evening goes on. But yeah, incredibly generous. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Kelpie, thank you for your $5 super chat. And Kelpie says Pol9 built different. Yeah, all far too generous. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much, and I hope you're all doing very well this evening, and looking forward to the stream. Yeah, it should be a good one. So once we get away from this scenery, I think we should have an improvement in terms of the situation with the frame rate and the staggering. But thank you again, Kelpie. Thank you, Paul9. Thank you, Gat. Really appreciate it. And yeah, really very generous. So we're in the older livery. There's a reason I've chosen this livery. Most of you regulars for the channel will know why. I'm always prone, or partial I should say, to the sort of late 90s liveries, and that's about when Air New Zealand were doing this. So it's yeah, I think it's a really pretty livery. Not that I don't like the new one, I just really like the shade of colour, the green to the blue fade that they have on the tail. I think it's really nice. This is available on flightsim.to. A very generous artist made it for the the Fenix A320, and this is based on a real aircraft, Zulu Kilo Oscar Juliet Golf, but it doesn't have, just like the real one, it doesn't have the wave. There was a wave that they put onto some of their 320s, and they had on their 747s that you'd see in London. But yeah, so I'd love a livery with that on it as well. But there we go. We're not complaining, because it's a great job. This one looks absolutely spot on. Good. The black and white livery is striking. No, absolutely, and it's a great identity. So there's absolutely, I have no problem with the new one, but this one just happens to remind me of my childhood as ever. Good day, Ryan Lee. I hope you're doing well. Ryan says, does QFE indicate the actual air pressure at the airport, and can QFE be calculated if one has QNH? QFE, if you're sitting on the ground, you can work it out just by putting the altimeter to 0. That'll be your QFE. So as long as it says 0, that's it. Hello to you over Rota on Twitch. I hope you're doing well. And Olos, good to see you. Ryan Lee is Ryan has already answered. Andy H132, good to see you. Thanks for coming along and moderating as well. Good to see you, Ed. Right. Kevin says, looking out my window in Auckland, weather looks bang on. Thanks for doing the flight. Yeah, good, because yesterday weather was all sunny and Cavoquet everywhere, and I was thinking, great, they're in summer now down there, or getting into spring, and it's going to work out for us. And then today it's all going a bit grey, but it's actually brightened up just in time for the stream, so that's good. Daniel, thank you so much, Daniel, for the €5 super chat. Really appreciate it. Daniel says, thank you so much for your content. Helps a lot to actually see here how a professional pilot is doing things. Really very kind, Daniel. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for coming along and saying so. I'm glad you've been enjoying the videos. Really, really appreciate it. So great to see you here, and hopefully you enjoy the stream today. And yeah, far too generous on all the donations. Really appreciate it. Thank you, everyone. So I've now been talking for 15 minutes. That's pretty typical. So let's get the airplane powered up. So it's going to be cold and dark. It's sitting here on stand. We're going to be the New Zealand 613, as I said. So let's get out of the drone. I do enjoy the drone. The problem I have in Microsoft Flight Simulator is I could spend all day just sort of cruising it around and just enjoying the view because it just looks so great. Oh dear, I'm seeing a lot of talk about crash to desktops. Let's hope that doesn't happen today. Any non-vaccine group flight scheduled anytime soon? I enjoyed the Africa Safari a bit ago. Ollers, yeah, so that's definitely on the cards. We should probably do them a bit more regularly than I have been. Anyway, up onto the flight deck, cold and dark. We would, of course, do our usual safety checks. Check the technical log of the aircraft before we do anything too drastic, like powering it up. You don't want to power up an airplane that's broken or got something being done on it. And we're going to check that the engine masters are off. Engine mode selector is norm. Weather radar is all off. And the wind shear predictive is off. Funny enough, the weather radar would come on as soon as you power the aircraft. The predictive wind shear would come on when if that's left on, but the radar's off. That will come on if there's one engine running. So very important that they're both off. Landing gear lever down. Both wiper selectors off. And let's do the batteries. Good voltage, check, and auto. How's the audio? Probably needs to be a bit louder for you guys. Thank you so much, Gat, for the £2 super chat. Gat says, I always like the Monarch livery. Thank you very much, Gat. Really appreciate it. There are a few good Monarch liveries. There's a couple available in the Phoenix livery installer as well from the 90s. So, yeah, Monarchs have always had nice liveries. I do agree with that. Yeah. So, yeah, thanks. Thank you very much. Thank you for the £2 super chat. Really appreciate it, Gat. Hope you're doing very well. Right, batteries are on. External power on. How's the audio? You can't get your jetway to connect as VT Jake because playway sceneries are conflicting with GSX. Ah, it's GSX. Right, I need to get rid of GSX because I haven't successfully got it working properly. That's what's happened. Okay, no problem. All right, let's get some of these turned up. I've seen some discussion about this, about whether these should be turned up or not on a cold and dark aircraft. These days, it really is down to whatever the previous crew did. A lot of crews do this out of habit. I don't think it makes much difference at this point, but yeah, a lot of crews do turn the screens down. Well, certainly in my experience, but yeah. There you go. A whole list of warnings, the triple click, that's very common. Often powering up an airplane, you can sit there. It's not uncommon to be sitting there at this point and hear the fire bell go. So it's quite unnerving. So you have to just, yeah, don't get distracted and just let the airplane cycle through things and keep an eye on it. So we'll get rid of that now. It seems to have settled down. This should all clear out on their own. If not, once we get it powered or get it all aligned, so we'll have better luck, but there we go. Jacob says, have you got any advice on the packs? I'm not sure what you mean, Jacob. Sorry, I don't understand the question. Robin says, I've got great FPS with the new driver and DX12. Okay, oh, maybe I'll try that then at some point. And Peter says, hi Cat, just flown my third ATC sim in 320 type rating. Excellent. I hope it went well. You can connect JetBridge through the default ATC. Okay. Well, we won't worry about that. We'll stick with the stairs. Broken JetBridge today. This happens more often than you would think. So there we go. Right, let's get it powered up. Right, RMP should be on. It's actually on. It would be left on anyway. APU fire test will run. APU start. Yeah, we'll do that. I don't know what's the temperature in the cabin. Oh, it's 20 degrees. Well, maybe we won't. We'll leave that for a second. Air conditioning panel is all set as expected. It's probably dropped a little bit, something like that. And then we can go to IR. So this moved recently in the checklist. It used to be later on in the flow, but now we do the IRs at this stage. Copy lights are all good. Recall. There we go. They've started to clear out. If I just press recall, we should get the TCAS. There you go. Or normal, even better. Thanks for the follow to Steam. Good. AML, we'll check through, and we'll do the OBs. Then we'll do our usual oxygen, oil, hydraulics, flaps 0, speed brakes down, matching, retract, disarm, parking brake handle is on. We've got accumulator and brake pressure, all looking good. The doors were open, so that would make sense. They should be nice and pressurized. Emergency gear lever is down. Good. Right. Now we're going to move on to our normal flow. Crew supply, ground control, tests. Yeah, so the packs, they'll be left on unless you need to turn them on off for the takeoff. So during COVID, that was sort of stopped. I will say it's starting to come back in now. If you fly as a passenger, you'll notice just before takeoff, it's not uncommon now. So we'll do a packed off takeoff today to hear the air conditioning pause just for the takeoff. Yeah, it's become a normal thing again. Seatbelt signs off and not fueled up. Strobes to auto. Nav lights on. Let's get those lights up. I'm going to put the dome lights on as well. We wouldn't do that in real life at this point. Auto off. That's all on. Cylinder power on. Fuel pumps can go on, even if most people don't. And fire tests. Excellent. All good. Cargo smoke. Absolutely. Flight control. Good. Yeah. We are pushing the limits of my computer here today. I can definitely feel it. Right. I'm going to set the Q&H by cheating because that's just my favourite feature of Microsoft Flight Simulator. That's all looking good. Constraint. We'll have a VOR on this side and a VOR on that side. Anti-skid nose steering on. 1022 is set on there. Switching panel normal. Radios are all set up as we would like. Radar was definitely off, and that's good. Okay, so let's do the old Fenix thing. We're going to import the route from SimBrief. There it is. We're going in 24 minutes. I think we can do that. 1945 to 2150. So, yep. I gave myself 45 minutes, which was tight for us, but so there we go. Paul says, I hope Fenix can improve the pushback feature on the FB. There you go. Yeah. I wonder what they'll do with it. And Robin says, are you planning on making a video about step climbs and optimizing cruise level? Would be great to have someone go in depth. Okay, that's an interesting one. Yeah. If I get the chance, that could be that would be a long video. I talk a little bit about that in the Coffin Corner video, dealing with sort of the upper performance. But there we go. Right, 23 minutes. No, we've got to keep going. So that's imported. Here's the weather. Departing out of here, it's 120 at 6. And we have got a QNH 1022, which was already set. Excellent. So that just gives an idea of what runway is going on. And a quick look. No meter available for there, but Christchurch slightly westerly. So pretty light winds, cold temperatures. Not very summery. And then there's our route. Ground services, fine. Mass and balance. Let's get it loaded. So I think this should have all come from our flights. 157 passengers. There we go. 7.4 tons of fuel. Let me just check. Thanks so much, Feral Demon, for the £5 super chat. Really very kind. I hope you're doing well, Feral Demon. Feral Demon says, landings in the Fenix have been getting better since opting for config 3 flaps as I float less. Wanted to ask, what is the normal criteria for flap 3 landings? Is it unrealistic to choose all the time? Yeah, flap 3 landings. I do a video on flap 3 landings. Flap 3 landings will be used if you want a longer rollout and not much braking. So long runways. A lot of pilots mostly use it in relatively calm winds, not the really windy conditions. Or if you're expecting wind shear, you'd use flap 3. So the Fenix has had, since that update, the big update, there were some issues with the flare and the landing that have been worked on. So I'm going to use flap full today, and it's a shorter runway. But yeah, flap 3 all the time is a bit unrealistic. It is actually supposed to be the standard for a lot of Airbus operators, but most don't. Most pilots don't use it as the standard. And there are reasons for that, which I can go into a bit more, and I do go into in that Flap 3 video. But yeah, it should, I'm hoping with this latest update, the hotfix, that the Flap 4 has gotten normal again. But we shall see, we shall see. I'm using Streamlabs and OBS Kelpie indeed. Pol9, thanks so much for the €5.99 super chat. So thank you very much. Thank you, Pol9. Really, really appreciate it. Very kind. And thank you again, Pol9, for your €60 donation. As I say, far too kind. Really appreciate it. Right, over on Twitch, Raging Game says, finally able to catch a stream. Thanks for all your videos and finally able to understand airliners and autopilot FMC setup. Unfortunately, now I have to buy computers to actually take advantage of all Microsoft Flight Simulator has to offer. Yes, that is what happens. Yep. There we go. So yeah, and thank you so much to Auckland Tower, saying it's a beautiful day to fly south over New Zealand. Perfect. The weather looks great. Really looking forward to it. And that's another advantage. We are late. It's a late stream today, but I think that's perfect to make sure people in New Zealand can be here as well. The Silverhead says, I've heard ATC gets super angry when someone uses Flap 3. Any truth to that? No. No. They don't even know. Even Flap 3, your landing distance does extend a bit, but if you need to come off at a certain exit, you could still do it. It's just you're going to heat up the brakes more, so we don't tend to. But like I say, most common in the 320 would be Flap full. In the 21, maybe you'd a bit more common to have Flap 3. I'm just going to do real time's a bit too slow now, so let's do fast time on the loading. That's my fault, because that would obviously, that process is automatic normally in the real world, so you just arrive at the airplane and the process starts. You don't really get much choice. Your YouTube banner says Auckland to Christchurch, not Queenstown. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's because I put in the alternate and I should have seen that. Thank you very much. Pol9 says, can we expect to go around and go to alternate tutorial? Yes, that's something else I need to get to. Aviation Blenheim, hello to you, joining us from New Zealand. Right. Okay, so that's now loading up. Good. Let us jump into the McDo. And we'll go and just initialize the flight. I am going to need to change the flight number though. Can I do that in here? Yes, good. Okay, and we'll load that in. Accuracy upgrade. So these messages are just messages all to do with the fact that we're aligning the IRSs. You can pretty much disregard them at this point. Good. Active flight plan uplink. Oh, it didn't do our flight number either. Go to the secondary. Oh no, is it into active? Oh, it isn't active on here, doesn't it? Right, okay, good. So we are going to be the ANZ613. So I've talked a lot about diff strip on the channel, but to be honest with you, this is more typical of how I load it up these days. I used to use diff strip, but you end up, I sometimes use that to check through everything to make sure I haven't missed the whole page, but you end up just sort of fiddling through it in an order you become comfortable with. But diff strip's great when you're starting out. First officer is complaining in another room nearby, if you hear that. So we're going to flight level 360 to cruise. Why is that a format error? That should be fine. It should just work out the temperature. There we go. Ground temperature, we said, is pretty cold. In fact, let's grab a weather. That's just going to give us the METAR. That's what we've already got. There should be an ATIS available, I think. No ATIS, that's fine. So we will stick with the METAR, which will just be here. I don't want to spend too long sort of downloading it through the MCDU if we don't have to. So temperature on the ground, 13 degrees. There we go. Absolutely fine. Before we go too far with this, I'm going to check it's aligning, which it is. We won't do that wind. We'll just get the actual departure we can expect from air traffic, and then I can copy it in the secondary. So yeah, there's no point going too much further until we know exactly what we're expecting to do. I have some charts ready to go. I'm going to use the app separately. We're going out via Capai. Is that even on here? No. So I don't know what runway they'd use. I don't know the departure. That's not the departure I was expecting actually. I was expecting it to go via Brook. I'm doing this just so that I have some idea of what to expect. So that one would take us down to cap high. There we go. 200 knots in the turn. That's fine. Cap B aircraft speed restriction. Am I going to find out this? You can't fly this unless you're in a Seneca or something. No, Cat A, B, and C. There we go. Okay. It's funny that B has a requirement. There we go. Okay. No problem. Thanks for the follows. Those of you joining us. Make sure you don't choose a prop departure as long as yeah, that's my classic. Is this a prop departure? Well, we're going to find out in a second, aren't we? I can't see it written anywhere. But it usually is. Hidden away. Oh no. Okay, I'm going to speak to Tower and then we'll get an answer. Warrior Accident says, kindly tipped $5. Really appreciate it. Thanks so much. Oh wow, my computer's really struggling. They say, just sending a quick thank you note for all the helpful videos over the past couple of years. Hope you're doing well. Thanks so much, Rexon. Really very kind of you. Thank you for the $5 tip. Really appreciate it. I'm glad you've enjoyed the videos. More to come. I know they're a bit slower these days, but still, it's yeah, really appreciate it. Thanks for joining us, and glad you've been enjoying them. Really very kind. Right, let me just make sure I'm talking to traffic control properly with the New Zealand 613, and we are on stand. What was our stand? I think it was 30. This is because I've got payware messing up with the freeway. It should be written out here. 30. Yes, we're on stand 30. That's all good. And we have the QNH 1022. Good. Let me just check. I've got my radio set up. Okay. Why hasn't it got VHF 2? Okay. 1187. Let's go to that. 187. And it's morning. It's morning time. Must remember that. It's morning time. Auckland Tower, good morning in New Zealand. 613, stand 30, A320, QNH 1022, request clearance to Queenstown.
New Zealand 613, good morning to you. You're cleared to Queenstown, beautiful flight south. Via the flight plan routes at flight level 360, make the rather rocky Brook to Quebec departure Kaupai transition, and I've pulled a very special squawk for you this morning, 5320.
Thank you very much. We're looking forward to it. So we're cleared down to Queenstown via the Brook to Quebec and the Kaki transition, flight level 360, squawk 5320, New Zealand 613. Thank you.
New Zealand 613, read back correct. Advise ready to push and start.
Wilco. Right. I don't know what Raki means. I'm assuming I'm interpreting it as sporty or something like that.
Looking forward to this rocky flyover.
Super 838 time.
Right. Squawk is in.
Tree. You're cleared to push back and start on to Juliet.
So
Juliet, thank you. Any preference on which way first?
Must be 05. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Say again, last.
Any preference which way we are first? So everyone's familiar with the airport.
No sweat. So when you push back, if you make a right-hand turn, which means your tail is going to be up the Juliet taxiway, so you'll be nose out towards the Bravo and Alpha intersection.
Okay. So we're
we'll do. Much appreciated. Thank you.
Okay. Black out for Kelpie. Sorry to hear that, Kelpie, but I hope it resolves soon. Jacob, hello to you. Lola Joe says, I'm watching you celebrating. Last night I got a call from Jet2 telling me I passed my training and now start next Monday. Cheers. Excellent. Well done to you, Lola Joe. Absolutely brilliant. Enjoy that. Fantastic. Great to hear. This is VATSIM we're using for AGC. And Grayson, so yeah, Raki departure. Raki must mean sporty. I can't see how it could be anything else. Good. So we got the Brook to Quebec, and what is so interesting? Well, it's a 200 knot turn initially, so it's 500 feet and then a right turn. That's relatively unusual. We do that in Europe at Nice and places like that, but otherwise we don't tend to turn at 500 feet. So that's quite sporty. 200 knots for the turn until turn complete. Well, I'm not going to have to even think about that because we'll still have flap out. We won't accelerate till we're around the turn. So we'll be flap 1 as we head around the corner anyway, or whatever our performance gives us. So that's fine. 4,000 feet at Brook above 2.5. That's also fine. Out to cap high. So I'm going to put in initially 4,000 feet. Now I'm sure I'll make all sorts of faux pas because of course I don't know how a lot of these things work over in New Zealand, but we shall do our best. I'll do the arrival later on, so I'm just going to do secondary copy. Init, wind, request,
stand 3-4, they're about
Radnav auto-tuned, init B. So,
New Zealand, 1-1
boarding is complete.
I can't see your strip. Confirm you followed the flight plan.
Just let me know how the audio is. Michael John, good evening to you. Yeah, we're looking forward to it. Grayson seems to think it's going to be a very beautiful flight as well, so I'm looking forward to that. 048, 59.1. We are heavy. A lot of people want to do this flight with us. That's excellent news. And 59.1, 31.6.
Auckland Tower, very good morning. New Zealand 406 at stand 5, request clearance.
We're going with a block fuel of 7.3. Slightly low now, but that'll be fine. Takeaway 66.2.
Apologies, taking the call.
And New Zealand 406.
That is all good. We can go to our load sheets, which I haven't loaded in yet actually.
New Zealand 406, you're cleared to Queenstown.
We're running late. I've got 10 minutes, so I will just... I'm sorry, I'm going to miss the chat a little bit now. But
to Quebec departure, Kaupai.
I just want to get us underway. 5320 was our score. Excellent. Yeah, 7.2, 7.4 was required block fuel, but our contingency fuel is high, so I'm happy to reduce it slightly. We've also got lots. Oh, first officer's here. You're right. She just jumped at me. There we go. Cruising 360. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff, good stuff. Right.
50 forward tree.
Yeah, loads of extra fuel in that plan.
5043.
We can even put in 2 tons for the alternate fuel. Plenty. Although that doesn't include the arrival. The arrival is going to be pretty thirsty, but we'll use that contingency fuel doing it. Good. And so now I'm going to use diff strip just to check I have done anything. So aircraft status we've done. Init A is complete. Diff flight plan. Secondary flight plan. Radnav. Init B. Finally performance. So let's run the performance from 04.
New Zealand 1-1 Tango, your clearance is available when you're ready.
Ready to copy, New Zealand 1-1 Tango.
New Zealand 1-1 Tango cleared to Queenstown by the flight plan route at flight level 380.
Yep.
The Brook to Quebec departure Kaupai transition. Squawk
29.7 Mach Tau, that's the number we need. Funnily enough, as ever, that's going to be pretty much right in the middle.
Cleared to Queenstown by
so flaps 1, flex 66, 48, 48, 50.
Kaupai transition.
Flap 1, flex 66.
New Zealand 1-1 Tango.
New Zealand 1-1 Tango.
48, 48, 50.
Ready to push and start.
Okay, New Zealand 1-1 Tango.
Clean of 2 and 8. But as we said, we're not going to have to worry about that because we're going to make the turn at 200 knots, but with the flap out anyway because it's below acceleration. So that PFD is looking pretty healthy. That's about what we expect to see at this stage in the process. We've done the performance. Let's get that APU up and running. Passengers will be getting all hot and stuffy back there if they're sitting there. Fuel's on. Seatbelt signs on. That's loading up. Otherwise, that all looks good. You can join us on terrain. Probably have flight plan on the PM page at this stage. Thanks for the follow. So Connor, you left packs off. Is that okay in calculations? Says Alan. Yeah. So today we're going to do packs off takeoff. It's since I started these streams, we've never really done it because in the real world we've not been doing it. It's becoming normal again to turn the packs off for takeoff. So that's what we'll do. But what we can also do, and what I'm going to do my old trick. We'll use this side for the checklist. Oh, is that going to work? Can't zoom in as much as I used to be able to, I'm sure. Cover prep is completed. Barrier F, we've got 1022 QNH set. A car's initialized. Parking brake is set. fuel on board. We got just under our 7.4, which is what we wanted. Init B is loaded. Flex temp of 66. And takeoff speeds 48, 48, 50, 218. So we're down to the line. That's good. APU is available. Just letting that warm up slightly. Get rid of some of this ground equipment now. Riyadh, good to see you. You made it in time. Let's get rid of the... Well, let's connect to tug. Oh, the stairs go. They automatically went. That's pretty good. But we do need the tug. Chocks are going. APU is available, so we can get rid of that.
Last station calling Auckland Tower. A little bit quiet. So give me the call sign.
Okay.
G'day, it's New Zealand 413.
New Zealand 413. Good morning, Auckland Tower.
This controller's
Morning,
great.
New Zealand 413.
Clearly excellent and well experienced at doing this role. Yeah, look, it's not working anyway. That's just scenery putting these aircraft here.
New Zealand 413 clear to Wellington via the flight plan route at flight level 360.
But that could be because I've got the server on.
Departure,
that might be my fault.
Transition, Squawk 50 power.
Alan, yes, that saves a bit of fuel. So as default, packs off is normal for most airlines. James has done 3 flights towards my PPL since watching your streams. Loving it. Excellent, James. Glad to hear it. We will use the AP bleed shortly. 350 sim pilot. I'm just letting it warm up.
Correct advice ready to push and start.
Okay, New Zealand 4.
New Zealand 613 request push and start.
New Zealand 613. There you are on gate to 30. The time is coming up 4-1. You could push back and start on to Bravo.
Thank you. Pushback start from stand 30 onto Bravo, New Zealand 613.
And New Zealand 613, just confirm your nose facing to the southwest.
Thank you. Nose will go to the southwest, New Zealand 613. Glad he said that, because that helps me. Because I confidently read it back. And then we're on 30. So we need our nose to go to the left, which will, and this is, a lot of pilots do this, if you go to nav rows, then you get a better idea. So our nose needs to point over here, which would make sense. So we're going from 30 back onto Bravo, which is the inner taxiway. Yeah, that's Alpha, and this is Bravo. So it's going to go like that, and we're going to block this stand next to us, which is fine, because that F-22 hopefully isn't going anywhere anytime soon. Good, so we'll run our little flow. Beacon can come on. Thrust levers are at idle, windows are closed, and that's all closed. Love the lighting. Have they changed the lighting? It looks really nice, that dome light. Good, so passenger sign's on and auto, beacon is on, transponder needs to go to auto and doors closed. Yes, of course, transponder to auto. There we go. Right, we're ready to go. Now we do the whole discussion with the ground crew, but we know it doesn't work, so brakes released. My nose is going to go to the left. Go. That looks suspicious, like the brake hasn't come off. There we go.
Auckland Tower, New Zealand 175, stand 32, requesting IFR to Queenstown.
Excellent, excellent, excellent.
New Zealand.
No, I've not knowingly been
Good
struck by lightning.
morning to
I'm
you.
close,
You're
but...
clear to Queenstown, the flight plan route. Flight level 3.
Right, I'm not going to start the engines just yet, so I make sure we get this right.
Car transition.
Love this livery. I love the sort of grime around the door. Really nice. Okay, now we want the nose to go to the southwest, so if we do that...
Again, squawk code, please.
There we go.
It's a 50.
So that's not bad. We're actually a couple of minutes early. We've done really well.
Thank you. Clear to Queenstown, flight plan route, Brook 2, Quebec, departure, carpy transition, flight level 360, squawk 5050, 175.
175, readback is correct.
Yeah, my model matching has not worked, so that's something I need to work on. I thought it had, but that's just the scenery. So this is Bravo. We're facing southwest.
Request push and start.
Oh, this is a good pushback.
10 heard 11 Tango for the push and
Straight line, stop.
Time is,
Starting up engine number, we'll do 2 engines, short flight, cold aeroplane. Starting engine 2.
Bravo, New Zealand 11 Tango.
That's not going to work unless we do that. Right, put that on.
New Zealand
Get the pressure.
406, request push and start as well.
Set the parking brake.
New Zealand 406 B1.
There's the pressure, starting to.
Over on gate 4 in the
That's
international
better.
stand. You clear to pushback and start on to Kilo. The time 4.5.
You've just scrubbed a big flat spot on all the tyres, Russell. Yes. Yep. Doesn't take much. Tom Corwine was in a 737 that got shot by lightning. Very good. I hope that was not too much of a shocking experience, as they say. Oh yeah. Goodbye, tug. That's good. Busy, busy. Lots of us heading down there. Right, that's up and running. Starting engine 1. It's worked, says George Lumpkin. 7 of you online at Auckland. Excellent, excellent. Yeah, I love the livery too. Agreed. What is that clicking I can hear? That just means one of my controls is doing something when I don't want it to. Never a good sign. Brad says, if you ever get another chance to visit NZ virtually, download an Ansett NZ livery for the 146 and do VOR approaching to Queenstown, or visit my old hometown of Rotorua. Rotorua, I'd love to do. Yeah, that could be good in the 146. Yeah, we should take the 146 for another spin. That's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. The Phoenix looking absolutely lovely as ever. Such a great model. It wasn't a great push. No, I was right. I should have started the turn later. That's my my lesson. Right, that's worked. Back to norm. Off. Off. Arm. Reset. Flaps to 1. And we said trim of 29.7. Surprise, surprise. It's pretty much where it was. A little bit that way. Good. Right, tug driver has gone. After start checklist, ground equipment is removed. Anti-ice off. Flaps config 1 plus F is green. APU off. Yellow electric pump off. Trim 29.7 and 0. Cabin doors armed. Ecam status is checked. Just to be clear, when I do this checklist in the sim here, I'm reading it out because I know I've done those things, which is a bit risky. In the real aircraft, what we do is we read it out and look at it at the same time. So, and it sounds obvious, but just in case. So flaps, config, and I'd look here, config 1 plus F, green, you know, so that's how it's done. But anyway, right, let's get out of the way. New Zealand 613, request taxi.
New Zealand 613, roll ahead on Bravo, a left turn Bravo 6, right turn Alpha, and then a left turn Alpha 9er, runway 05 right.
Thank you. Ahead on Bravo, left Bravo 6, then right on Alpha, left to Alpha 9 for 05 right. New Zealand 613.
That's true, yeah, yep. Ahead on Bravo, left turn Bravo 6, right turn Alpha, left turn Alpha 9 to hold short, runway 05 right.
Okay, so Bravo 6, Alpha 9 for 05 right. Thanks so much, New Zealand 613. I might have messed up my transmission there.
Airways 838 Hero once again. Request taxi Suntan.
Now the only problem is...
Seabird 838, roll ahead on Juliet, but hold...
That's Bravo 5, but we were cleared through Bravo 6, which is where our colleague is over there.
New Zealand 406, request taxi.
It's a 737.
406, roll ahead on Kilo, hold short of Alpha.
New Zealand 406, roll ahead on Kilo and hold short of Alpha.
New Zealand 11 Tango, ready
the
for
sixth
taxi.
country, just an advisory for you. I'm allowing you, or making you, rather the first departure, holding the other two departures close behind.
Thank you very much. Is that for New Zealand 613?
613 AFM.
Thank you. Just to confirm, we've got traffic in front of us. Can we go out via Bravo 5?
Yep, he hasn't pushed. pushback, but yep, if it's easy for you, you can make the immediate left turn, Bravo 5.
Thanks so much. We'll do Bravo 5 on to Alpha. Thank you, 613. Yeah, must be my sim's probably not aligned very well. Right, clear on the right, clear on the left, brakes released. Let's go. We're still going to manage a full hour until we get in the air.
On Bravo 4, do you need to roll ahead on Bravo to Bravo 5?
We'll require Bravo 5.
Pretty heavy. What are we, 66 tons? Yeah, pretty heavy.
Roll ahead on Bravo, left turn Bravo 5.
Clear out on Alpha.
And right turn on to Alpha, but hold short of Juliet on Alpha.
Taxi straight ahead, Bravo left, Bravo 5, right Alpha, hold New Zealand 11 Tango.
Yeah, of course, it's server traffic. It's server traffic. Yeah. Sorry to Grayson. That's me confusing myself. I never fly with the server traffic on, but I forgot because of the last stream we did was a group flight. That's embarrassing. Right, we'll get out of here. They were behaving so professionally for online server traffic. I assumed they were. I assumed they were on VATSIM. And with so many things pushing back. So there's the other traffic down there waiting for us, which aren't labelled, of course. Okay, let's do it. Flight controls. Full up. Full down. Neutral. Full left. Full right. Neutral. Wow, you don't hear the foul much. That's great. Just a little brake check. That's all good. Let's put that to arc. Looks sensible. Out of 05. Right turn, 500 feet, 200 knot speed limit. It's got the limit down there, but we know we can actually accelerate as soon as we round the turn. So we might do that in order to be able to retract the flaps. So I'll have to do that myself by either selecting the speed or clearing the limit. Good. Done the flight controls. Done the brief. Right. So before taking checks, flight controls are checked. Oh yeah, of course. Let's do the rest of the flow. That goes to max. Takeoff config. Right. Flight controls checked. TCAS is TARA. Departure brief confirmed. Takeoff data and FMA. We've got flaps 1. And we've got 148, 150 climb nav, 1FU2 stopping at 4,000 feet. All sensible. Flaps config 1 and ECAM memo takeoff. No blue. We are down to the line. Good stuff. We're ready to go. Right. Let's just make sure we do go to the right taxiway. Alpha 9. So we're just at a high speed. I think we're at Alpha 7. Does this work? There it is. Yep. So we go past 8 and then we're cleared from 9. Slightly limiting on the performance. I don't think we did an intersection. There is a way to do that. Don't want to make too much of a scene about that now, being a 3,000 meter runway, but yeah. There is a way to do intersections on here.
One Tango, I'll tell you what, behind the A320 ahead of you, continue along Alpha left turn.
Evening to you, Hayden J. Robbins. Thanks for joining us.
Behind the company A320, taxi straight ahead Alpha and hold Alpha 9 in New Zealand 11 Tango.
New Zealand 406, the A320 that's coming left to right ahead of you. Number 3 in the stack.
Even Auckland, sort of the big city airport, is absolutely stunning in New Zealand. Some of the best flying out there. I mean, just look at it. Look at the rain. That's great.
Behind the company traffic from the left.
Just lovely.
Alpha 9.
Right. Alpha 9.
Right
this is 9, isn't it? Yes, this is 9. That is what we call a leading question. But there it is written on the ground, so we can confirm it.
175, click push back and start the time 5.3 and a half.
5.3 and a half. Excellent. It's nice that we can use real time. So we're ready to go. We've done our checklist. Just got the below the line.
And the New Zealand 406, you can make the right.
Just let the Grayson catch up. We'll get the queue out to join us. There's our extra one who might be flying along with us anyway. The trim is per the takeoff weight CG, George. Takeoff weight CG.
Speedbird 838, you can make the right turn onto Alpha.
If you guys are getting, I'm sorry if you're getting lots of lag. I'm not getting lag on my sim, but the streaming software struggles. My processor cannot keep up with all the things I'm making it do. That's a sign that I need to upgrade it, because it's just with all these different add-ons, SimBridge and all this stuff, it's all starting to get too much. But strangely, it doesn't affect the actual simulator for me. It's just your stream that suffers, which is really, it is aggravating, seeing as the main thing I'm doing here is streaming. So I will get that sorted. They give the timer giving pushback clearance because it's important for working out delays, basically. So a lot of people will be monitoring that very closely. Right, I'll just turn up the sound a little bit. New Zealand 613, ready for departure, Alpha 9.
New Zealand 613, passing 1,500 feet. Give your position report and monitor. Unicom on 122.8. Tip of wind currently 130 degrees, 9 knots, runway 05 right. Have a great flight south. You're clear for takeoff.
Thanks so much for looking after us, and we are clear for takeoff from 05 right at 1,500 feet. We'll change to 1228. Thanks so much, New Zealand 613. Absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much to Grayson. Brakes released. Lights.
As a heads up for you, I will go and be Queenstown south for your arrival.
Perfect. Thanks so much. That's good. I'll just get confused. We need to beat our friend over there onto the runway. We're just going to have to ignore them. I'm so sorry. That's my fault for leaving multiplayer traffic on. But we'll pretend we've been cleared to line up ahead of them, and if we see them, then that's my mistake. No one else's fault. Right, clear on the approach-ish, clear on the left. I mean, you do get line up in front of aircraft. It does happen. Pol9, thanks so much for your 12-euro super chat. Really appreciate it, Pol9. Again, very generous. Thanks so much. And we are ready to go. Absolutely love this livery. Just great. Look at this. This is great scenery. I'm very impressed with the payway scenery here. Right. Let's go. We'll keep it rolling. You don't want to start spooling up the engines until you're pointing pretty much down the runway. Got to be careful because they could spool up asymmetrically or something. Half side stick. Man, Flex 66 SRS runway. Order thrust is blue and arms.
4-3 apologies, not a let. Roll ahead Bravo. Left turn Bravo 5, right turn Alpha down to Alpha 9. Hold short runway 05 right.
And 80 to 100. Stick to neutral. Bit of a lag there on the PFD. Does happen if there's strong enough winds. Oh, it's my whole simulator. And rotate. Positive climb. Gear up. Yeah, there's a bit of rudder authority issue there. Definitely. It's turning a little bit early as well. Wants a full turn at 400 feet.
What was it, the taxi taking your request?
I'm going to do a little bit less. That's quite... there we go. We're above a sensible altitude, so we can go to the turn.
New Zealand 224, hold position. Break. New Zealand 11 Tango 05 right. We'll line up and wait.
Line up and wait, 05 right. New Zealand 11 Tango.
And New Zealand 224, roll ahead on Delta 1
right.
onto Bravo 6. Right turn Alpha,
thrust
left turn
climb,
Alpha 9.
on the
You're going to be
thrust.
number 5 in the stack at this stage. Hold short. Runway 05 right.
Yeah, I'm not sure. That LDEF scale at the bottom shouldn't really be there.
New Zealand 11 Tango passing 1,500 feet. Monitor and give
We're going to go to
position.
Unicom now on 1228. Yeah, beautiful view. It's frustrating that rudder authority is still an issue then, because the nose wheel comes up, you can release the rudder and the airplane just sort of weathercock, but there's too much friction on the wheels, it feels like. But there we go. We're around the turn, so we are allowed to accelerate, so we shall. Despite the coding. The reason the coding's like that is because there wasn't a more suitable point in advance. Above the green S. Flaps to 0. Disarm the ground spoilers. Nose gear lights off. Thank you again, Pol9, for that very kind super chat. Really appreciate it. And all those new followers and subscriptions. Great to see you all here. There we go. Climbing to 4,000. We're actually cleared up to 360. We're on Unicom now, so let's go straight up. Get into the cruise and we can chat about the arrival. Oh. So we'll set standards. Let's climb up and climb out Blue 360. Pretty rainbow, yeah, it's lovely, lovely view. Oh, look at it, unbelievable. Look at those downpours. That's just what they look like. Yeah, it is Microsoft's its scenery and its rain is just amazing. Yeah. And the light. I mean, it does undeniably look absolutely lovely. But the way they capture the weather and the showers is quite special. Crispy Chip says, if takeoff weight limited, packs off or APU bleed on, supplying packs better. Only downside is slightly extra fuel burn with APU on. Exactly. So you would turn the packs off usually, which I totally forgot to do. Because it's been so many times we've done it packs on. So there you go. And the reason I didn't do it was because we didn't do this part of the checklist. Runway, strobes, packs. There you go. That's what happens when you get rushed into it. That's why there's 2 of you on the real flight deck. But there you go. No harm done. We had plenty of performance margin in that case. It's in places with very short runways where the packs would have to definitely go off. Or it could start to affect your flex temperature. But yeah, it's rare for the packs that we needed to be off. I'd say it's very rare, in fact. But if you're somewhere really hot with a short runway, that sort of thing, that's where it can happen. For example, I'd imagine departing Queenstown could be a bit performance limited. What's there? It says the new lower cloud layers, of course. So is this a change, this new layers? Because it does look excellent. Has it changed this thing? You can't know. Some charts let you see your position. It depends on what your airline has. Not all charts. So this is an extra feature. I'm not using DLSS. Is DLSS available now? Maybe that would free up some of my processor. Right, 10.9 for 360. Standard set. We're going to manage speed. Let it accelerate. It's cold outside, so we're going engine anti-ice on. I'll leave the seatbelts in as we go through this cloud. Let's give the weather radar to our co-pilot. And we can turn off the landing lights. Make sure the weather radar is actually turned up and turned on. Yep. That's all good. And fuel, how we done? 690.66. So yeah, that adds up to about 7.4 as we'd expect. Peter, hello to you. Thanks for joining us. Your clouds are layered now since Sim Update 10. I didn't realise they weren't before, to be honest. But yeah, it looks lovely. Wicked Cookie says, I can't wait to start my pilot's education in about a year or 2. It's expensive, but hey, money does not matter on chasing dreams. Yeah, it is expensive. That's unfortunate, but good luck. Enjoy it. And yeah, great to see so many people coming into the industry, so enthusiastic for it. So no weather radar yet. Okay, thanks very much, Mariner. Hallie. DLSS used since Sim Update 10, but does give displays a blurry feel when zoomed in. They're okay. Okay. I'll have to try it out. I haven't. I did update, so I don't. Is DLSS just an option in the settings? I guess. I'll have to have a play around and see if that works better. But yeah, the I don't think I need a new graphics card. I've got a 3080, and I think that's okay. But I may well need to change to the processor. I'll take off checklist we should have done. Landing gear is up, ECAM is checked, and BARF is on standard and standards. Good. Yeah, so that's something I might consider. I'm thinking of a 12 series Intel, but that way I think just because of the way I stream, I need an i9, and then I think that will just remove this issue we get of your stream lagging, even though my simulator isn't. Normally after takeoff checklist, it's once you've done all the items, so the checklists typically come when everything on them is complete. So actually you should have done it much earlier than I did it there. Again, getting slightly distracted by chatting with you guys, so that is my fault. You can run the DLSS with a 2000 series card, says Peter. There you go. If you have a 3080, then no need for DLSS. That's fully. Yeah, that's probably what I'm thinking. I think my processor is the main problem. So, yeah, I already limit the frame rate of my stream. So my simulator will run high. It runs 40 to 60 at 1440p, and I run it at 1440p and then downscale it for the stream. But if I were to be able to get a processor that could handle a bit more, that's always what's limiting my sim. Yeah. Thanks for the follows. Right, we're above the clouds. Engine anti-ice can go off, and we'll let the passengers out. It's not a long flight, this. Yeah, there's the equitime point, 21:22, about an hour. So descending in about under an hour already. Just 50 minutes. We're in the descent. So yeah. Grumpy says, "Did you turn on the packs?" Yeah, I left them on for takeoff. So that is my mistake. So yeah, that's because I got too distracted with all the different ground scenery issues. So yeah. So the packs are luckily on. Mariner says, "I'm using DLSS on 2080 and have an i7." There you go. Are you running the streaming off the NVIDIA card? Should run smoother when utilizing the GPU. That's a great question. Yes, I'm using the NVENC NEO encoder. So that means I'm using the card, I guess. The 4000 series graphics cards. Yeah, I've seen that they're quite expensive and quite impressive in their performance. I don't have a localizer only video, AirDog. I don't think I do. Yeah, I think that's the right way around to stream on NVENC. So it's not using a CPU. No, it's not. That's right. That's a really good point. I should have realized that. So that means maybe I should change it to the CPU? No, because that's already limited in the sim. So that would only make it worse, actually, because the graphics card's working not too hard. So I don't know why we're getting this lag then. I don't know. Yeah, that is a really good point. What happens? Sometimes you wish you could just talk to the computer, have a discussion with it. What do you want from me? What do you need so that you don't lag with the stream? Because it's perfectly happy with the sim, but it's just the stream. Anyway, or try a separate PC and Elgato. That is another option. Yeah, that would be the ultimate way. Is what and what I'm ultimately trying to avoid is that I need another computer. Oh dear. When would you turn the packs on after takeoff, says VT Jake? If you took off with them off, you would turn them on after thrust reduction. So before acceleration, if they're different, they're often the same, but if they are different, before acceleration, after thrust reduction. Hi, this is the Flight Sim. Thanks for the subscription. Maybe your upstream rate isn't good now. Yeah, I don't know. But like I say, my sim is fine. There was a bit of lag around that scenery, or stutters around that scenery, but that's to be expected, really. I put that to airports. Probably both of you, frankly. Not much point having constraints on in the late climb. Look at that, we're already nearly there. So, is that Wellington there? Yeah, short flight. Dominic says, always cool to see streamers come to New Zealand. I'm currently working towards a type rating in the DA42. Very nice aeroplane, which I'll go for my MEIR in a couple of weeks. Pretty exciting. Welcome to NZ. Enjoy the flight. Excellent, Dominic. I'm imagining you are at a certain flight school that's famous for sending students to New Zealand, because that's the sort of airplane they use, I think. But that's a very nice aeroplane indeed. So yeah, have fun. And yeah, it's got to be fun to fly around general aviation in New Zealand. Got to be, isn't it? Not so much here though. Somehow we're over water. I didn't really expect that. There's some of that beautiful scenery. James says, good to finally watch the stream. Man was busy getting out of Auckland. Great VATSIM experience. Yeah, it was great. Yeah. Controller did a fantastic job coordinating all of us. Really very good. Has this changed as well? This looks even better than it did before, this interior. Yeah, very good. Very Airbusy. This route takes you down the west coast of the South Island. There we go. Draft says, just purchased the Fenix A320 and your videos have helped out a lot. Thank you so much. You're very welcome, Drafts. Glad you've enjoyed them. Glad they've been helpful. Running out of path as we get higher up. Let's get rid of this company message. This was the load sheet. We didn't really do that. We went with the final load sheet, as it were. Next time I'll be a bit more proper with my usage of this. There we go, compliance. Yeah. That is a system that not all airlines use, I will say. But that is a system. The first officer, Cade, was here for some of the taxi out, and then, as usual, when I have to use my legs for the rudder, she leaves. She doesn't like that much, which is understandable. So she's no longer contributing, but maybe she'll be back just before we descend. James is hoping to pass my PPL to do a flight with my brother when I visit him in Wellington once I finish my paramedic degree. Fantastic, James. Excellent, that would be fantastic. So yeah, flight in Wellington, absolutely beautiful. Paramedic degree, incredible career choice, James, as ever. Yeah, amazing. I can't imagine being a paramedic in any way, shape or form. Absolutely amazing. Evening to Rashid, who says Dunedin is a lovely place to fly into. There's nice scenery for P3D. Not sure about Microsoft flights. Okay, very nice. There's loads of beautiful airports, it seems, down here in New Zealand. New Zealand is called Aotearoa in Maori. Stands for Land of the Long White Cloud, as you're experiencing this morning. Oh yes, very good. Didn't know that. There's the coast. I don't think we need much else in here. I'm not using the charts. I suppose we can grab a weather. Get an idea. No METAR, no ages available yet. We should find out. Well, I know what I want to do when we get there. So we're going to the famous one, Queenstown, and everyone talks about it. So I'm going to do what. So earlier I used a closed question. I said this is the right turn, isn't it? Which is called a closed question. I'm pushing you towards an answer. So which approach? When we describe going to Queenstown, which approach are you all expecting me to fly? Because I don't know what the weather's working for. I can see that 05 is in here. But which approach, those of you familiar with the airfield, is the exciting one? Because, of course, there is an ILS. Oh, no, hold on. That's Auckland. That's not right. No. Yeah, there's an ILS and... there is a non-precision. So there's there's no ILS. There's non-precision, but one of them is more straight in than the other. So which one are people hoping to fly today? So Grayson says RMP 05, amazing scenery. Right, how interesting. So this is the one we should be doing then. George says they've been using 2-3 today. Sorry, this is the one. This is the 2-3. RMP 05 says game dev. Okay. RMP Yankees is RV. We don't even have that anymore. I don't have the charts for it. The airport has no airline charts showing standard IFR charts. So, yeah, that's typical because yesterday when I set up the stream, I just had a go at the 2-3. So, of course, that wasn't the one we were expecting. Because I thought this looked pretty spectacular. And it was. This turn here was great. turning in between that and then sort of coming down with this wall next to us. George says I've got set up for 2-3. Yeah, so I assumed 2-3. I have never done 0-5. But apparently that's spectacular as well. It does look spectacular. So descending 10,000 feet down. I mean, the boss has told us what to expect. Grayson says RMP 05. Daniel B says I did 05. It's stunning, amazing Phoenix. Well, there we go. I guess we'll do 05. Seems like a bit more of a straight in, but then that's a slightly more aggressive turn at the end. I'll be curious to see how the Phoenix handles that, because that's where the coding really matters. 2,300 foot minima, 3,100 foot platform, starting from Amubo. Absolutely fine. Down it goes. 3.2 degree slope, same on the other end as well. If the boss says 05, that surely says it. Yeah, that's it. The boss has spoken. Grayson says big turn close to right. Okay. Well, I'm going to confess now then, as I haven't practiced that, I don't know exactly how much turn is required, and I've never seen it before. I don't know what it's going to look like out the window, so I could end up messing it up. So we will brief a go around properly. Look at that. Beautiful go around. That looks fun. 150 knot turn, keeping the radius in. Excellent. So let's level off and then we'll get that discussion out of the way. Alvin wants to do a 05 approach and go around. It is possibly going to happen. We shall see. I won't do it intentionally. There are a million RNAVs in here, so I'm just putting the RNAV Zulu 05. And that's via Elrov. Via Babu. Now we are getting close to leveling off, so watching that at the same time. Let's just see if that looks sensible. Elrov, there we go, and then down and background and in. That looks absolutely lovely, so we'll insert that. Okay, and then we can check through that coding momentarily once we level off. Right. Jonas says, when are you landing? We've got 1,000 feet to go, but we are landing at 21:30 UTC. We've done very well. So about an hour and 10. I say we've done well. I use Simbrief for those flight plans, Robin. Or the Cloudbot. Is the Cloudbot working? Has it been behaving? Has anyone spoken to the Cloudbot today? It should be working. It may not have been. Thanks, Jonas, for the subscription. Oh, the Zulu is Cat B only. Juice Yankee if it's available. Oh dear. I will change that over shortly. Alexandre says, hi Captain, I'm a big fan of your channel. Hope you will do a live from to Luxembourg one day, my hometown. Excellent, Alexandre. We have done Luxembourg once, I think, in the Beluga. But yes, thanks for joining us. Glad you enjoy the channel. Really appreciate it. Great to hear it. Thanks for coming along. Mac and Outstar. TCAS. 2 below. Bit of a systems check. All looking very good, very reasonable. That is a bug, it shouldn't cycle back and forth like that, but there we go. The old ones did. This one should not. And there we are, it's settled into the cruise. So, we'll change around. I just don't quite understand where this Yankee and Zulu are coming from. Thanks so much, Adam K, for the $20 super chat, really very kind. Really appreciate it. Adam says, hi, when you're doing your type rating, how do instructors teach all the nuances? E.g. in outstar, the Airbus won't follow an updated speed command. This roboticist is dying to know. Thanks for all you do. Love your content. Really appreciate it, MK. That's very kind. Thank you for your $20 donation. Really, really appreciate it. So, your question is, how do instructors teach all the nuances? For example, outside the Airbus won't follow an updated speed command. I mean, there are... Yeah, that's a good one. That's the sort of thing that you learn flying the aircraft. So when you're doing your type rating, it's sort of more big picture things. So it's, do they understand the modes, managed, selected modes? Are they handling the aircraft in a safe way where they can go and handle the real aircraft with passengers on it? Are they able to handle the emergencies like the failures? Some of the nuances like that will get mentioned, but the thing to remember is during a type rating is a huge learning experience. It's not something that we do as, it's not often that you learn so much in such a short space of time, and a type rating is incredibly intense. Airlines don't want to spend too long with you in a simulator. They want you trained as quickly as possible, really. So yeah, it's little nuances the instructor might tell you, but it's more likely that you'll forget that and then not encounter that issue until later on. For example, the one you're talking about where if you in outstar and you start fiddling with the speed, it won't matter. That's the sort of thing that people learn when they accidentally realise that and find themselves, unable to change the speed when they wanted to. Because if you're instructing new people on the aircraft, you have to be very careful that you don't train them with all of the... It's not trivia, the details, I suppose I should say, because if new people on the aircraft might try and pick up on the details and they'll miss the bigger issue. So it's all about making sure that when you add that input, that you're driving those trainees. They need to come away with the big message each time, because they can't remember everything. Now the technical side of things, so I suppose that's a more of a technical point, that in outstar you can't adjust the speed anymore, it's locked in. So the trainees should know that from their ground school. That's the big one. And there's a lot of learning that you're expected to do as a trainee. You can't come to the Airbus on your first day in the simulator and then start asking questions like, what is open descent? You should know that already. This is stuff that was in your ground school or your computer-based training or whatever it was. So that's a part of it as well. And during your type rating in the simulator, you'll be brushing up on that all the time, and it takes up all your time. They are full-time, those courses. You do your sim, you do your briefs, your debriefs, and then in the meantime you are just studying. When I did my Airbus type rating, it was one of the... Yeah, I forgot what hard work it was, but it really was a lot of work. Why is the Mac fluctuating so much, says Regix? Yeah, so this is interesting. I have not seen this before. This is a bug that is new to me today. That's not right. It would never do that, because it's the target changing. So that suggests it's getting a change in conditions outside, I suppose. Yeah, very odd. Never seen that. Never seen that. Is it doing it both sides? Yes. Both ADRs are doing it. So there we go. Yeah, not sure. That's not realistic. But thank you again, MK, for the very kind donation. Really appreciate it. Wind speed. Yeah, wind is jumping up and down, isn't it? That's presumably what's triggering this bug. The reality is you'd just get lots of turbulence, but this wouldn't move around quite this much, but it's causing issues, clearly. Mark, it says type rating on the 777 at the moment. Excellent, enjoy that. That sounds like a lovely airplane. People like the 777. Grayson says, I'm online as Queenstown Tower. Maybe a hiccup at Queenstown, as there are only 10 gates. Oh dear. Berman says, does predictive wind shear work on the Phoenix in absence of weather radar? No, I don't think it does. I can't see it working properly. No, this does not happen in real life. Not at all. George says, right, I'm taking off from Christchurch, or Churchtown as I called it earlier. See you at Queenstown. I'll get there early and set up some screenshots. Excellent. Sounds good, George. Right. So we were going to change around our arrival to the Yankee. I don't know why I haven't got the charts for that. Yankee. Oh, that's 2-3. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do Thanks so much to MIL05 for the 10 New Zealand dollars super chat. Really appreciate it. That's very, very kind of you. Thanks so much. MIL05 says, hi from New Zealand. Your tutorials have me enjoy this sim even more, even though I have the Super Poverty Pack Xbox Series S with the Velocity one. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for the $10 10 New Zealand dollars super chat. Really appreciate it. MIL05, if that's what you'd like it to be, or MIL05. Really very kind. Glad you've been enjoying the channel. And yeah, if you're the magic of the Xbox has been that people have been able to enjoy the sim who otherwise wouldn't have, because building a gaming computer has turned into a huge expense compared to what it once was. So that's absolutely great, and yeah, I'm glad you've been enjoying it. Thanks so much for coming along. Thank you for contributing to the channel. Really, really appreciate it. Never heard of it described like that before. That's great. Nav Yankee 05. There we go. We've got the same star. Got the same buyer. Sounds promising. Thank you, Lauren V. Zoom in. There it is. Good. So, yeah, so thank you again to Mal for that. Really appreciate it. Good. What we're going to do, especially important today, is check that this is all coded correctly, because we don't want any of these waypoints to be wrong, or we'll be hitting some mountains. So we'll zoom right in. And I will actually, I'll start with, well, let's pin that, and I will also pin the LRAV arrival to Alpha. So LRAV arrival, pretty straightforward. LRAV past Xbox, which is the holding point, then Kazlu, Mabga, Gospa, above 12,000 feet. Transition sounds like it's high yet, flight level 150, and then Ibabu. From Ibabu, we then set off on our adventure downwind. Big RMPAR arrival. AR meaning authorization required, and then a little turn at the end, so radius to fixed leg by the looks of things. And then we go. After that, they do like their additional charts in New Zealand. There were a lot for Auckland. I've never seen so many charts. I was quite impressed with that for one runway. There we go. Right, landing onto 05. 800 meter runway, so flat full, medium water brake. Probably off at Alpha 6. I think 5 is going to be too impossible. And then round we go back into the terminal. If we all arrive on 05, that should work out, because there is at least a parallel taxiway for us to escape onto. Good. Meters. I assume the Z, since it's only Cat B, is for A and Z turboprops. There you go. That would make sense. Yeah, it must be something to do with this update that's causing this. It must be since, yeah, that's when it's all changed. Right, so. Gospa, and then. Ibabu. Ibabu, QN577. We're just going to do constraints. Above 10,000 feet, yes. Around the arc, minimum 9,200 feet. It expects us to be above 10. Then in the deceleration, then 9,500 at 573, which is fine. 170 knots, so speed getting right back because this radius, yeah, as this turn tightens up really. And then round the turn we go. 82, 571, 569, 565, Mopka. And then all the altitudes are correct. It's got the restrictions. And then it goes Amubo, which is the start of the official part of the approach really. That's a platform of 3,100 feet, which agrees with the charts. 3,100 feet and then 3.2 degree descent. That's absolutely fine. That's also our final descent point, so that's not, you can't look at the chart to see that, you have to look in here. That's where it's coded from, so we must make sure we fly via Amubo. I have every intention of letting the aircraft do all of this because I want to enjoy the view really. So 3.2 degree descent from there, so gear down, so flap 2 and speed back as we start down, so certainly below 160, and then dropping the gears shortly after. Touchdown zone, confusingly, is... So what's the elevation of this airfield? Yeah, airport elevation 1171. So it's by water, but it's a lake. Not something I see much in Europe. Very rare. So yeah, it's not at sea level. So important things to note here is, yeah, we're closer to the ground than we might think we are. 3,100 feet is actually quite a late approach. That means we're only 2,000 feet above the ground as we start down from Amubo. By that point, when we're on the way to Amubo, I'll arm approach and we'll go make sure we get final lap, and then we'll let it fly final lap past these waypoints. 555. You can see the turn there to the runway. 550. 545, and it's got the correct altitudes there. Yeah, excellent. Radius, there you go, arc. And then into the runway, so we'll see what that looks like. It is quite a change, 038, and then we're landing on 05, so 10-15 degrees at least of change. Here's the interesting bit. If we go around, does it have it? There it is. Wow, excellent. So Quebec, remember, 547, then around the turn 552. That's not on there. We've actually got 551 and 553. So slightly different, same picture, so I think it looks fine. Slightly different speeds and waypoints. Is that because this could be the difference between the Zulu and the Yankee? This could be a specific one for the jet aircraft, that this one isn't. If this is Cat B only, as Laurie was saying, yeah, Cat B. So that would explain that. Why don't I have a... this is the old style one. Yeah, right. This is what people used to do. So you get to this point, and this is, I say people used to, this is what people who aren't authorized would do. Remember, AR stands for authorization required. A lot of airlines won't pay for this because they don't see it as worth it, because they could just make you fly this and get you close enough to the runway. But I'm going to do it today. I want to see the Phoenix. I want to put it through its pace. I want it to fly this whole final bit for me. We can stay in New Zealand. We'll come back in the 146 or something and fly non-precision approach, because there are some fun ones. The VORs do look fun. Look at that. Excellent. Into the VOR, and then whatever you do to get to the runway. But that's not what we're doing today. Yeah, funky visual maneuver. Yeah, exactly. Get you to the overhead and then in. So that's the circuit procedure there, I'm guessing. What a joy. Right, we're not doing that today though. I haven't practiced that, so I'll let it do the work. But the go around is slightly different, but it's got higher speeds, making this Cat seeable, I suppose, for Cat C aircraft. And round we go out to the south. Very similar in its own right, turn re, and out to the hold. If we do go around, well, we've done the flight plan. We don't need anything in the rad nav because it's all RMP AR. I will put in the threshold, so that is... I'm terrible with ICAO codes. What is it? NZQN 05, in it goes. Performance. Right, we don't have any weather still. Thanks Grayson for your messages. That's sorry, I only just got those. Raki is Kiwi slang, meaning sporty, full on. Excellent. Thanks for the messages, Grayson. I'm sorry I missed those earlier. Am I up at Airspace Agency? Glad, yeah, Grayson appreciates the delivery as well. I really like this one. Have a bit of a photo shoot now, I think. Flying over, we can see the ground again. Good, good, good. I enjoy that very much. Thank you for indulging me. I do love the. That's something you can't do in real life, isn't it? So that's one of the joys of simulators. Yeah. No, absolutely. It's a beautiful, beautiful country, New Zealand. Unbelievably, breathtakingly stunning. And this is just the default Microsoft Flight Simulator scenery. You know, this is the joy, as I've said many times, that we get to get a taste of what this might actually be like for pilots flying over it. It's a realistic. It's a decent representation of what New Zealand looks like, I assume, because so far everything I've seen in Europe looks just like it. So I'm working on the impression that this stuff is pretty close. Ebos, good to see you. Thanks so much. Thanks for the like. See you next time. Scott flew over Queenstown in 152. Excellent fun. Excellent. Right. Where was I? We were filling in the box. Not something you should get distracted. So we haven't got any weather yet. So what we'll do is we will do it this way. Weather requests. November, Zulu. Quebec, November. Altimeter, send. Ah, we've got nothing. Nothing. I don't think they have a weather station that is active. I suspect they use weather from a nearby station. Is that realistic? I'm beginning to think they don't have their own. Yeah, they don't seem to have their own weather. They got a forecast. Forecast was for light northeasterly 210. The 13th at 22, which will be about now. Very strange for me to try and read UTC at different times like this. So yeah, no meteor stations this then will be. There you go. Both engines so far are working, Yakub. Yes, in our last stream, if you missed it, I streamed the Toliss A320 and X-Plane 12, and we lost an engine and had all sorts of other failures, so that was fun. What we can do is set up medium water brake. We are going to do flat full for landing, and we can push in the minima. Now, Lauren V is saying that the minima is different. This is higher, but I've only got this to go on, so I'm just going to put 2-300 in. I think the weather should be fine for that. Config full landing. And if we go around, again, we're flying a slightly different procedure to what we haven't got the chart for it, strangely. The go around seems to go to 9,000, below 9,000, so we'll put 9,000 in. Now, that's an interesting one. So, I don't think I've talked about it on stream before, but 1438, thank you, Lauren V, 1438, let's do that, 1438, so there we go. Yeah, it's an interesting one. The go around takes us to 9,000 feet, so we put that in there, engine out acceleration. The idea is if we go around on one engine, we wouldn't accelerate the aircraft and bring the thrust back from go around thrust until the missed approach acceleration altitude, so 9,000. Now that's an interesting one, isn't it? Because there's also a limit. We get a 10-minute time limit on one engine to run it at takeoff or toga thrust. If you run two engines, you only get 5 minutes. So would you get to 9,000 feet if you went around from about 1,500 feet in 10 minutes? Probably. But still, you might get to a point where you'd need to actually reduce thrust earlier, because that limit is pretty binding, unless you had good reason to go past it. But you don't want to run your only remaining engine into the grounds. That's the idea. Good. So, oh, there you go. You're there. Thanks so much for NCQ. How did you get the weather then? 200 at 4, 11 degrees, 100 at 4. But everyone's saying we need to do the 05 approach, so a bit of a tailwind. 144 sounds like a very low QNH if we were just at 1022, so I might wait and see if we get any official information. QN8 is active. Oh, there we go, 0504, QNH 1027. Thanks very much, Grayson, really appreciate it. 1027. 0504. 38 kilometers visibility. Excellent. So that's the right wind, what we want. Temperature on the ground, 7. It is a fresh spring day in New Zealand. There's no doubt about that. Thanks so much. Good. So no clouds. Yeah, lovely day. Which is what, yeah, that's the impression we're getting out the window. Very excited, very excited. Looking good. Thanks, Game Dev. Yeah, so that's a TAF. That's a forecast you've got there. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Andy says there is a real NZ613. It's an A320 currently approaching Queenstown. Oh, that's good. I actually googled the flight to get the right number today. So I had 611, then someone else had that already, which is absolutely not a problem, of course. So we went with the 613, which is the next one. So that's worked out well. We've timed it right. 38 kilometers visibility for Queenstown. I suppose if you can see through mountains, says Lauren. No problem, Game Dev. No problem at all. It's yeah, but that's so when it says TAF, it's terminal area forecast. I think that's what it stands for. But yeah, that makes it a forecast. It's strange that they have a TAF but not a METAR. It's quite unusual. But it sounds like the ATIS is available now. So there it is. Yeah, Digi ATIS. Excellent. Thanks, Grayson. So that's information echo we are arriving with. So they're saying they do have an ILS. So it's ILS 05. Well, I seem to be missing a lot of charts anyway, so it wouldn't surprise me if there is one. But it looks like, judging by the terrain, there wouldn't be an ILS. Unless there's an offset localizer. You can have one of those maybe. But yeah, there isn't an ILS, says Mark Shaw. No, thought not. Must just be the way the agencies are generated. QNH 1027. Echo QNH 1027. Good. Right, so plans for the approach. Let's see. In terms of track mileage and so on, let's just make sure we have speeds and gates sensible. So as ever, I'm going to aim to let the aircraft do it all for me. That's the Airbus way. There's no point overthinking it. Now, that's not to say it's any different from a Boeing. It's just what I mean by that is using the VNAV modes to just fly it for you. So yeah, we've got Kazlu below 1.7, above 1.6, and lo and behold, it wants to be at 1.7. So it's trying to be efficient as ever and keep it slightly high. It's absolutely fine. Ibabu has a speed limit of 220, which it's going to maintain, which is good. And then we're going to head round the turn at 220, and it should reduce to 170. Yes, it does, but that's not good. There's a 250 there because of the 10,000 feet, so it might do a sudden acceleration and deceleration. So we'll watch out for that. That's not so good. I wonder if I should clear that out. Let's clear that limit out. I don't want it to get confused. So 220, 220, 170. It puts this little comma mark when it's a repeat. So there we go. That's more like it. That's a bug. I don't think the real aircraft doesn't do that. So there we go. 170, then round the turn at 170, which we will do flap 1. And round the turn, round the turn, round the turn, all the way. And then we've got quite a long leg here. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 11 miles in a straight line. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, 11 miles in a straight line to Amubo. But we are descending in that time from 7,300 at 569. Yeah, which is about on profile, 200 feet high, and or 200 feet above this anyway. And then down we go. So it should be a relatively continuous descent. What that tells me is it's going to be tricky to get the aircraft configured. So flap 1 and the speed back for the turn. And then we might need flap 2 out somewhere here to make sure we get down. I want to be level at 3,100 feet before Mopga. Before Amubo. So that should be possible. Amuba here, 3-1. It's got us at Mopga at 5-7, 200 feet high. So that is 2,400 feet to lose in 7 miles. Yeah, that's tight. Okay, so we'll put flap 2 out at Mopga and get the aircraft down. That's going to be the plan. And that way we'll have enough drag to decelerate it as we descend down towards Amubo. So yeah, flap 1 as we come around this turn, flap 2 somewhere here, and then as we pass Amubo, I want to get down to Outstar. Ideally, we don't have to, but then we'll arm approach on the way to Amubo, and then as we're setting off from Amubo, getting the gear down, getting the drag out, because it is a slightly steeper approach, and we are at a bit of elevation, so our true airspeed will be a bit higher. Big threat here is obviously terrain. It's everywhere, so we are sticking exactly to this procedure. We're not going to take any shortcuts or anything like that. We will be visual, so that will help, but yeah, I want to stick exactly to this, and we'll see how the aircraft flies it and what it looks like compared to the terrain, because of course you could fly all of this IMC. You wouldn't be visual until you're down here somewhere, down here, which is just amazing, really. So that is the plan. Grayson says, Air New Zealand 613 left, Auckland at 0800, ETA 0955. How funny. So you're actually flying the flight in the sky currently. That's great. That's really great. I don't think we've ever done that in the two and a half years we've been doing this. I can't believe it's been 2.5 years. Good. The go-around, we know it's slightly different, but we're going to go to 9,000 feet. The Cap B1 was to 10,000 feet. And we follow the IR-nav missed approach track. I.e., let's say it all fails, the map gets lost. Make a big climbing left turn in this bay. Keep climbing as fast as you can. Keep the speed back. Keep it turning. So one thing we definitely would need if we wanted to fly this is nav in the go-around. So let's just make sure we have that. Oh, I definitely want that. And I definitely want nav in the go-around. There we go. Super important for this one. The reason is, if you go around in this situation, or let's say you go around here, and you go, oh no, this isn't working, let's go around, and then it doesn't go into nav, and it actually tries to drop out into go around track, which is just straight ahead, then it'll just fly you straight into these mountains. Same thing here. Let's say you go around, it doesn't, you forget to put it into nav for whatever reason, you're distracted, you had an engine failure, or you hit a bird or something, and then you just fly into this mountain. So having nav in the go around is ultra important for this style of approach. There we go, the controller is online. We've got 1293. Beautiful scenery. Oh, it didn't work. I wish the Logitech panel had had the right number of digits. Right, so that's a plan, that's a config plan, that's a go-around plan. In terms of fuel, we've got 600 kilos, so our contingency fuel has remained, which is good. Probably not enough to try that again, so you'd have to sort of consider to committing if you did go around. We've got final fuel intact though, so yeah, that is interesting. Let's just see. At Babu, we arrive with
New Zealand 741, the crash control descend flight level 150, expect the RMP Yankee, stand by. 3.7
tons, landing with so that reckons we'll burn 100 kilos. I don't think that's true. That's, yeah, the Phoenix is a bit over optimistic with its fuel figures, but there we go. So we've got a plan for that. We know the MSAs are silly high. 11,400 is the highest, so that's what we'll climb to if we're lost. But yeah, it's sitting beneath us for all of this. Radar altimeter is going to come alive early. 2,500 feet is when it comes alive. So in this, above the ground. So that's going to be 3,600 feet today. So I think it will probably come alive here at this ridge, and it might come alive earlier because some of this is up to 6,000. Right. Mateo, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for your help so far. You made it for landing. Yeah, you'll see how it goes. We're going to do the 05. That's where we've ended up. I don't have the right charts though. Evening 4S. I hope you're doing well. Right, where are we? What are we doing? That's what I need to figure out. Where are we going? Going to Dubon. We are.
838, crash control.
Rearward flights on final. Excellent. GD says, evening, hope your autopilot works. Last few flights I made on the Phoenix, I couldn't get both APs to work. Well, we will only use one for this, for a non-position.
Step at 838, clears the LROV 2 Alpha arrival, runway 05.
LROV 2 Alpha, so it's all sounding like we would expect. Christchurch, good morning. New Zealand 613, flight level 360 to Dubon.
Zealand 613 Christchurch Control. Cleared the Elder of 2 Alpha arrival, runway 05.
Thank you, Elder of 2 Alpha for 05, New Zealand 613. Excellent.
Christchurch Control, very good morning. New Zealand 406, flight limit 40.
It's fun saying good morning because I'm sitting here in the dark in the UK. It's like, what is it? It's 10 o'clock at night here. I love the idea that people are having their orange juice and croissants in New Zealand right now.
Alpha arrival, runway 05.
So what other airports are there around us? There is Christchurch just there. So our colleague should have made the way. Wild Rumble, good to see you. Thanks for coming along and moderating. I hope you're doing very well. Igloo Food's having a quiche for lunch. Excellent. It's great fun. I absolutely love that we're all these people from around the world, and we're all sat here sort of in this world, this shared world that we've all got in front of us here. It's great. GD, good evening. Might have to watch 320's training vid tomorrow.
Christchurch,
excellent.
Morning, New Zealand 11.
Roxanne is in the US, thinking about dinner soonish. Yeah, so we're after dinner here in the UK.
11 Tango Christchurch Control.
James in Teesside.
Cleared the Elder of 2 Alpha arrival, runway 05.
Cleared Elder of 2 Alpha arrival, runway 05. New Zealand 11 Tango.
Look at that. Beautiful. This would be a fun flight to do as a passenger.
Station clear, take course only. 224 Christchurch Control. You're cleared the Elder of 2 Alpha arrival.
It's 10 AM tomorrow, says MIL05. There you go. George says I better get this approach right then. Yeah, good luck, George. Ash has got some pancakes, very nice. Michael says, I'd be flying too, but I have to sit here working. Thank goodness I can still listen. Thanks for joining us, Michael. I hope we're not too distracting from work. Are these views default on the Phoenix? Never seen it. Yes, they are. So you can get the camera, instrument, and then scroll down. I really want them to be here in the showcase, fixed cameras. They've got more external views now in here, but that's where I want them to be, so that I can just toggle the drone and get that view. But for now, they are in here. Oh, this is a, yeah, pretty standard spec Airbus 320. Got the right shape of handle on the overhead lockers. That's classic Airbus telltale sign from the cabin. Here's a question for you all: Does the FlyJSim Q4XP work in X-Plane 12 yet? Has that changed? I'm sorry, I should just Google it, but oh, that's just stunning scenery, isn't it? Wow, snow-capped and everything. Yeah, I don't think of these things all the time. I forget to Google them until I'm here. Theo B says, flew on the A320N earlier today. Didn't realise how much thrust it had on takeoff. Is that... Yeah. So the 320 NEOs are... There's definitely more torque at the start of the takeoff. And I know it's not torque, but they go quicker at the start of the takeoff roll than the CEOs. They definitely do. It's quite noticeable. They're powerful, yeah, in that spool up time. And they make a great noise when they do it. But they really do get going nice and quickly. It works, but no official update. Thanks, Andy. That's what I want to fly. I want to do that in X-Plane 12. Mash says, I'm hiding in this shared world where I can forget I currently don't have a bathroom. Yes, that doesn't sound too fun. Kick says, thanks for the great stream this evening. Always interested to hear your advice on flying the A320. New Zealand is amazing. Thanks so much for saying so. Thanks for joining us. Acceleration. Yes, that's a better word. Yes, acceleration. Not talk. I call it torque because it just feels like the engines bite better lower down. They don't have much additional thrust. They feel a bit more powerful to us pilots, but not a huge amount. It doesn't seem to make a massive difference. But you do feel that initial acceleration. I saw we've got some preview pictures of that upcoming 757. That looked absolutely stunning, although quite a way away from release, but did look great. Excited for that. Any X-Plane 11 aircraft should work in 12, but not utilising all available features sustainably. Thanks, Daniel. Reggie says, I should be studying for a physics exam right now, but I find this much more entertaining. Well, I can't advocate that. Maybe, yeah, well, we'll be on the ground soon and you can get back to studying for physics. Pepe says, good evening from Dresden, Germany, the nicer Florence. Keep your great work up. Thanks so much, really appreciate it. Glad you're enjoying it. Kate says, challenging approach in your old Dash 8. Yeah, that would be great, Kate. Yeah, that's what I'd like to do. I'd like to get that Dash 8 into some more fun approaches. The Dash 8, we could take it and fly
1 Tango, report your mark number.
the old VOR style. So we could with the 146, to be fair. That would be good fun.
406, report your mark number.
Paul 9, thanks so much for your €5.99 donation. Really appreciate it, Paul 9.
406, reduce mark decimal 76 or less.
We're at the head of the queue, I'm not sure.
406, mark decimal 76 or less.
Yeah, thanks so much, Paul 9. Paul 9 says, how's it going with the pair? It's going great, thanks so much. Really appreciate it. I hope you're doing very well.
838, reduce mark decimal 75.
Yeah, it sounds like we're at the front of the queue.
7588.
Beyond 224, report your mark number.
That's what they always do. They always ask you to report it first.
Correction, New Zealand 224, speed, mark number decimal 76.
So that's spacing being put in behind us now. That's good news that we haven't been asked the speed yet.
175, report your mark number.
And they always say report. They never, and this is totally accurate. These controllers are great. This is just what they do.
175, reduce mark decimal 76.
Because they take the number you give and then they put the reduction on that. They don't look at the screen because they can see how fast you're going, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's what you're targeting. So they ask you what speed you're actually targeting. And this is where pilots will then say a speed faster than what they were doing in order that the reduction is less than they wanted. It doesn't work because, of course, eventually you'll get slowed down even further if you catch up with the plane in front. But there you go. Yeah, 757 from Microsoft Flight Simulator is on the way. And thank you again, Paul 9, for your very kind donation. Appreciate it. Yes, Theo, a pilot can fly, if you fly the A320 family, you can fly the 18, 19, 21, 21 NEO, 20 NEO, 19 NEO. Yes, you can do them all. Roche says, when single engine taxi, does it really require a lot more thrust to move and noticeable input to keep straight? Noticeable input to keep straight, yes. A lot more thrust to move, yes. Yeah, you got to spool up the one engine, but not a huge amount. It will almost roll and break away on its own on one engine even. Certainly the IE. CFM, maybe not. CFM, probably not, no. Lauren B says, New Zealand did used to fly the Dash, the 300 mine. They have ATRs now. Yeah, so there you go. Q4XP would be suitable.
175, reduce mark decimal 70.
Q300 is still flying. The smaller regionals. ATR 72 is a bigger regional. There you go. Ah, there you go. Lauren B says, they only see how fast you're going in ground speed. They don't know your Mach or choice speed. Oh, I didn't know that. There you go. That'll explain it then. Again, then they have to ask. In London, can they see the speed you've set in your FCU? Says 350 sim pilot. So, I once heard a pilot ask the controller this, and it was surprising. They can see your vertical speed, and they can certainly see your target's altitude, because they can tell you when you've got it wrong, which is very handy. There's no procedure for that. We don't expect them to check that, but sometimes they help by catching it.
Left heading 130.
Some space being put in. Now, why can't I see anyone on TCAS? What have I done wrong here? Are they all just too far behind us? Yeah, so they can definitely see the level you've targeted. I thought they could see more than just your ground speed on some of the more modern air traffic systems, but I don't remember exactly. Sorry, I just don't know. Jamie says, I saw this question earlier, sorry Jamie. Jamie says, can the A320 do IRS align or realign in flight if, for example, the init that long was inputted incorrectly? You'll know if it's inputted incorrectly at the start because it will compare badly with the GPS and the airplane will tell you that. If you're flying an aircraft without GPS, then yes, that's a very dangerous situation, but then you'll know because when you put in your route, you won't be in the right place. So that's an error that hopefully shouldn't really be able to happen. But if your IR was to, for whatever reason, need to be realigned in flight, no, you can't align an IRS whilst flying. What we can do is realign the artificial horizon. So you can, there's two parts to the IRSs. So they're sitting up here. We have this switch, which is this, sets up the spinning part, and then we have the air data side of it. So, attitude side of it. So either you're going to use it for navigation or you're going to use it for the artificial horizons. So they're two different things. So I'm not going to do it now because I want them all working for what we're about to do. But if you were to, you can actually use this button here to turn off one side of it, or you can use this rotary knob to turn off the navigating side of it. And you could put it into AT mode. AT mode would mean that instead of using it for navigating, it's just being used for the artificial horizon. So that's what it's there for. So if you turned it off fully, you can align it to just be an artificial horizon, but what you can't do is align it as a navigational source if it's already moving. Because the problem is it needs to align to exactly where it is on planet Earth, and as it aligns, it levels out where it is, it works out the Earth's rotation. It's very clever stuff. And if you're moving the aircraft at that time, it doesn't work. You can't even push back whilst aligning because it will mess up the alignment. The spinny part. That's what it's called. NZHK to NZCH would be cool in the Q100, says Gestro. Yeah, that would be fun. That would be fun. Thomas says, hey, love your videos. Just had a hard landing in Nice since they don't use ILS and they use RNO approach, but the approach button wasn't working. Any idea what I did wrong? Did you activate the approach phase? That's what I can think for that one, Thomas. Yeah, make sure the approach phase is activated and that you're going to the correct waypoint. Must make sure that you do actually have the correct waypoint. So we're about to do the same thing here, so you can see what we do on this approach. It's very similar. Game Dev says, to be a pilot, does one have to be comfortable with high G maneuvers as part of failure training, stall spins, etc.? I want to get a license, but I have terrible fear of such things. So, no, you don't need to be able to handle high G to be a pilot. There's no high G maneuvers. 2G is the most you'll feel. And 2G is quite a lot, but a roller coaster would often go up to sort of 3 or 4. Don't worry, Kelpie, I haven't missed too much. Just chatting. We're about to start down. Yeah, so high G is not an issue, but I would say you don't want to be afraid of that side of things because...
I apologise, I feel I'm a bit wrong with my looking here. Did you say rate 360 maintain altitude over?
Speedbird 838, yes.
That's it, thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Yeah, so you don't need to be afraid of those things in an aircraft. There's 3 on approach now already. It's obviously a popular place to go to. And there we are. So we are at the front of our queue. That's great. By quite a margin. I didn't realise how much bigger the South Island is over the North Island. But yeah, so it's not something to be afraid of the high G stuff, but you don't experience much super high G. The steep turns are the highest G you experience when training to be a pilot, frankly. And you'll get used to that. Yeah, Grand Island Stage, you'll get used to it. But if it's something you're nervous about, then that's a different. That's something for you to, only you will know how you can overcome that. Because of course, the Airbus is certified to 2.5G. That's the most it will pull. So.
New Zealand 613, wind read descend via the star to flight level 150.
Thank you, descend via the star to flight level. Confirm flight level 150, New Zealand 613.
Flight level 150.
Thank you, flight level 150, New Zealand 613. Good. Right, let's put that back to ARC. Oh, too much. 150. So there it is. Zoom in a bit. We got the descent arrow. via the star, so I'm just going to use managed descent. Why would I make my life any more difficult than that? The fuel's definitely become a little bit more accurate in this. We've only gained 100 kilos. That's good. So I think this new engine model is working well. Was it? I don't know if it's a new engine model, but I don't know. There's been some tweaks to it, I think, because this is pretty good.
He's at 175.
Thomas says, does a real pilot use open descent? Does it affect the comfort of the passengers? Yes, we use open descent all the time. Remember, the first part of your descent is nearly always, it doesn't matter which mode you use, it'll be an idle descent.
406.
Because the Airbus wants to stay in the cruise as long as possible and then do an idle descent all the way down until you're configuring to land, basically. That's the most efficient, right? So that's what it's aiming for. So because there's no other restrictions, this first part, there it is. Mac Des. Oh no, done that again. Don't want that. Mac Des out blue 150. This first part, it will initially do 1,000 feet per minute, and then in a moment it will capture, or the descent will start, and it will just go to idle, and it'll be exactly the same as if it didn't open. And then no issue on passenger comfort. Passengers feel the change; they don't feel the rate of descent, just the change in descent. Well, Prawn said it might be interesting if a few people went around. It looks complicated. Yes, it does, but we're just going to use nav mode and toga.
Turn left 360.
And yeah, fly left-hand turn. It would be quite something.
Turn left 360, thank you.
Lauren Reed says the South Island is something like 3 times as big as the North Island, but the majority of the population is on the North. Yes, yeah, that's why in my head I didn't realise it would be so much bigger.
234, Christian 240.
Yaroslav says also landed in Nice a couple of hours ago. The visual part is just as hard. It's just so hard to do in the sim. Can you recommend any tips to not overshoot the centerline and those types of approaches? You just got to anticipate it. These are heavy aeroplanes, and especially with the crosswind, it's easy to get misled off the centerline. So just anticipating that turn, look where the wind is coming from. If it's coming from the left or right, will make a big difference as to where you need to roll out, and that's often what could do it. The Pepper says, as kindly super chatted, €12. Really appreciate it. Pepper sends support and warm thanks. You both educate and entertain a lot. That's very kind of you. Thanks so much. And Pepper says, question: do pilots see in the cockpit if a ground controller has radar or just your transponder data? So thanks so much for the super chat. Really, really appreciate it. And I'm so glad you enjoy the channel. To answer your question, do pilots see in the cockpit if a ground controller has radar? No, we can't see anything about what the controller has or doesn't have. So whether they're using primary radar, which is when they just ping off us and see us by pinging off a signal, or secondary radar, which is when our transponder transmits to them, we don't know the difference. They're nearly always using this. In fact, they are always using secondary radar primarily. The primary radar is sort of a backup for seeing unidentified things and things like that. Or if the secondary radar fails, it at least gives them some sense of where aircraft are. But no, we do not have any way of seeing that. No.
He's on 413, cross-switch control. Clear the message 7 Alpha arrival, runway 02. Wind ready, descend via the start 1000. Canterbury area QNH 1030.
Busy part of the world. Thank you again for that very kind donation, though. Captain AV, thanks for the follow.
Emirates 1 Victor Romeo requesting IFR clearance to Queenstown at Christchurch.
Emirates 1 Victor Romeo standby. Break New Zealand 413, contact me 129.4.
George says, urgent update from Queenstown. Tower comms is very intermittent and that taxiway is not for large aircraft. So we need to backtrack fast. Thanks, George. That's really good info. So that means, well, I need to backtrack fast, so we can't use this.
406, we're ready to descend via the start flight level 150.
There you go, look, all aircraft codes seen above must use the turning nodes at 05 threshold for turning. Taxiway Alpha, limited aircraft maximum potential takeaway at or below 5,700 kilograms. There it is, it's written right on the chart. So, backtracking off at Alpha 4?
Yes, New Zealand 413.
Alpha 4, Alpha 3, or maybe Bravo 2. No, not Bravo. No, Alpha 4, Alpha 3, I guess, into the main bit. Out of interest, for those of you who said that the New Zealand 613 is flying now, just on approach, what aircraft was it? Was it an Airbus? Simon says, evening all, just landed in Dubai. Wow, this sim is pretty. Yeah, this is beautiful, isn't it? It is beautiful. If I wasn't spending the whole time looking down on the floor. Just lovely. I really, this lighting is amazing. That warm glow of the dome lights, spot on. Full points, this is going to be fun. Yeah, this is going to get interesting. Controller's going to have a bit of a mission on their hands here.
He's an 838 to turn left heading 170.
Paddy, good to see you. Paddy, in-house, one of our very generous community artists of livery designers, says, heard that during opening stages of Falkland deployment, non-Sea Harriers were launched off carriers, but since they couldn't align their IS on the boat, they had to go without certain avionics. How interesting, Paddy. Yes, I suppose that would be true. So, yes, because in aircraft carriers, they align using the ships. So they got some clever thing on the American ones. But there we go. Non-Sea Harriers wouldn't have had that system, so they were launched off without some avionics. How interesting. Thanks so much, Paddy. Good to see you here. Grand Daniel asks, how do you calculate descent point? That is done simply. I've got a video on that. When to descend. So yeah, I recommend that video. It's a bit of a long story. Effectively, it's 3 times your track miles. So, but 120 miles track miles to go. But again, watch my video when to descend, and that will help you. Hopefully.
Clear to Queenstown, their flight plan route.
Adam Hellstrom, thanks so much for your 200 Swedish krona. Very, very generous. Thanks so much. Adam says, I've been watching your content for a long time, but never live. Glad to be here. I love the content both for what it teaches and for the entertainment it creates. Also, a question, do you still fly actively still? Best regards, Adam. Adam, thanks so much. That's really, really very, very, very kind of you. Really appreciate it. To answer your question, then, no. I say no. Yes, I am flying regularly now, which is not something that we could say for a long time on this channel. So it's a real relief to be able to just say that now. I'm flying regularly, basically as normal, as busy as I was before the pandemic.
New Zealand 406 confirm we should maintain
which is a
240 heading.
Yeah, it's just great. Unfortunately, it means that the videos are a little less frequent, or a lot less frequent.
Sorry, my chart's just being stupid.
For months I could make a video a day,
406 track direct.
But now of course that's just not possible. But yeah, thanks so much for the donation, really appreciate it. I'm glad you've been enjoying the videos, and yeah, thanks for joining us today. Ed's back, good to see you, Ed. Just time of descent. Yep, we're just about to start on our way in. We're going to go right past the airfield. It's quite cool that we get to do that. Beautiful, beautiful day. James, not happy being taken off the plan.
He's on 838 track direction up next.
James says, do you prefer V2500 or CFM? V2500. Capri says, at 33,000 feet, you start descent at 103. Yeah, plus a little bit. Plus about 10 miles to slow down, so you'd make it 130. But then you'd have to adjust that for the wind if there's a tailwind. Again, I really recommend my video. But the Airbus gives you a good guess with its descent arrows. So we can see here, it's going to level off at 150 here at Mabga, which is fine. But then we need to get down shortly after that. We can't hang around there. Right, let's just check if there is an approach check. This is next, yeah. So getting there towards the mountains. Oh, look at that. I'm not convinced about this camera angle. I don't know why. Why is the aircraft so out of centre?
613, contact Queenstown approach 125.75.
125.75, New Zealand 613. Thanks so much for your help. Bye. 125.75. Controller's doing a fantastic job of coordinating all of us when we gave no warning and no planning. This is very last minute as ever. So yeah. Right, we've got Echo. Queenstown, good morning. New Zealand 613, descending flight level 150 to Katzlu. We're at 320 with Echo.
613, g'day, Queenstown approach. Descend at 10,000, the QNH 1026, and which approach have you planned?
Send 10,000, QNH 1026. We're planning on the Yankee 05.
613, roger, expect that.
Thank you. Cool. So that's down to 10. I'm going to leave it in managed because I don't want to descend early. Kazlu, we've made the restriction. Set QNH. No, it won't do that. Right, we'll just put in what we were told then. Super, super important you set the right QNH in this context. Unbelievably important. Otherwise, you won't know that you're off profile or that you're too close to the ground when you're doing a non-precision approach. Non-precision approaches are still, even when they have the vertical guidance, they are not based on the ground system like an ILS. They are not as secure. If you have the wrong QNH, you will be at the wrong altitude. It's guaranteed. Whereas with an ILS, there's not. There is a backup or less chance of that happening. Thanks so much, Pond9, for the super chat. Really appreciate it. Again, Pond9 supporting us so much. There's a cup of coffee. Yeah, I almost wish I had a cup of coffee with me now. Yeah. 10:15 here in the UK, which isn't that late, but it's a busy time. I thought I'd be a bit quieter in October than I have been, but no, thanks so much, really appreciate it, really enjoying it today. This is good fun. So we've got medium water break, done a performance, we set the QNH. Let's run that checklist as we didn't do the one on takeoff. So ECAM status is checked, approach type and runway. We've got RNAV Yankee 05 discussed and confirmed by traffic. Minima, we've got 1438 barrows set. Approach phase. Now I'm not going to activate it yet. I'm going to let the aircraft do it. Where's the decel point? It's background there. That's absolutely fine. I want to leave it in fully managed. I want the aircraft's calculations to be applied. Airfield is over here. There we go. Just disappearing. Losing my pen. We have no scenery here, but apparently this is handcrafted. So yeah, so the approach I practiced, I flew in down this valley, then you come round this corner. You can't see the airfield. Then you do come out to here, sorry, and then you turn in right next to this hill. It was very cool. But this is equally pretty. Look at this, just lovely. Right, let's not get too distracted now. Tea instead of coffee. You are a Brit, says the Brit. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. Tea. I could have had a cup of tea sorted. I should have, if I'd been more organised. Just got some boring water. Does taxi time count as part of your flight time for commercial pilots? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Right, speeds. We're going to watch out here. Why is it doing that? That's fine. We still seem to be roughly on profile. Terrain radar's on. It's not showing us much terrain. A little surprising, but there we go. Should have bing bonged the camera crew for teaser on. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Bit late in the day now, sadly. Ah, beautiful. So we're coming in this valley.
13 cleared, RMP Yankee, runway 05 at 7,500. Contact tower 118.1.
Thank you, Cliff, for the RMP Yankee for 05. Passing 7,500, tower 181. New Zealand 613. Thank you. 181's tower. So I'm just going to get that on standby. Now, when controllers do that sort of thing, it's quite rare in Europe, so we are prone to forgetting. So do please remind me. I'm going to start up the replay software. I have tried the built-in one. Hopeless. Back to flight recorder.
Good morning, New Zealand 11 Tango.
Which I've lost.
Descending flight level 150 for the nav Zulu, runway 05.
Okay, how are we doing? So we're clear for the whole approach. So starting from 10,000. So what I'm going to do is let the airplane fly the approach for me.
Queenstown approach, expect that. Descend 10,000, QNH 1026.
Descend 10,000, QNH 1026.
The approach. So I'm giving my computer a lot of things to do here, which is why I thought maybe the processor is the issue. Yeah, so platform of 3,100. It's got the restrictions in, so you can take a leap of faith. We're on the QNH, 3,100. Managed descent. So we get out magenta 9,500. So I've got 3,100 in the window, but the airplane knows it's going to have to level off at 9.5, so it's going to show me that. So you might wonder, why doesn't it show me 10,000? Well, the reason is it's not going to have to level off at 10. It's going to, in its planned descent, it's going to sail past this above 10,000 feet, so it won't show us. But it does think it's going to level off at 9.5. And that's also probably because it wants to decelerate before it gets there. So there we go. So we've got to watch out here because it's going to try and come back on the speed on us. And when it does, which could happen right after this point, it's going to drop to VLS. So we need to put the flap out while keeping an eye on it. Radio altimeter may well come alive over this hill. This is quite a hill. New Zealand and automatic handoffs. Yeah, it's quite unusual. We're not very good. In Europe, sometimes you get asked report at 4 miles and things like that, and that's always a nightmare. Look at it. Oh, everything just... It's like descending into the middle of the Alps, I suppose. They're a bit smaller than the Alps. 11,000 MSA or 12,000 MSA here. Alps go up to sort of 18, but to be honest, a lot of the Alps is around the 12 mark. It says, studying, I'm going to have to fly this one soon. Yeah, this is great. I'm glad we did the 05. The other one is, I mean, we should come back here and do the other side as well, because that's just crazy. So we will do both. So huge arc now. Starts off with quite a wide radius, and then that tightens, which is why our speed's going to have to come back. Right, target speed is 220. The max that will go is 225. We're well below the limiting speed. We're going to come back to 170 soon, so let's put out flap 1. Flap 1. And here you go, 9.5 in magenta, because it's going to have to level off there. And there's the speed coming back, 170. Well below S speed of 190. What's our weight? 62.8. Yeah, we're quite heavy. So I'm going to do max reverse as well. But, you know, there's no rule that says we can't go below the S speed with flap 1. It looks a bit uncomfortable. Is it sensible or not? That's up to you to decide on the day.
Very good morning, New Zealand 406, passing flight level 184, descending.
Flight Director says, do you think the Phoenix is better than the Toliss? They're both excellent. Whoa.
Approach, g'day. Which approach
out of constraint. I'm not sure what it was targeting there. It should be targeting 175. Sorry, 170. I don't know why it's gone up here, or what that little marker is telling us. So this looks like a bit of a bug to me, because we should be back at 170 for this turn. So I'm going to intervene. I do not want it to be faster than 170, because I do not. If we go too fast, our radius of this turn might become restrictive. So I'm just going to give it some speed break now, watching out the VLS increases, which is accurate to the aircraft.
Speed 210 knots or less. Cleared RNAV
Just crazy.
Runway 05 and passing 7,500.
I'm doing this because the speed is now slightly back. I can just manage it again.
New Zealand 1 with Tango, thanks a lot.
What is it thinking? So 8.4, then we're going to 7.3. 350 says it's targeting S speed because you're only flaps 1, but it should be targeting the managed speed. It shouldn't target the S speed. If I activate the approach phase, it should target the S speed. That's what I mean. So now it's doing what I'd expect it to do. If I activate the approach phase down here, it will go to S, and that's fair enough. But because it's in targeted speed, you know, I can select speed 170, and that would be absolutely fine. So managed should behave in the same way. Speed brakes are away, but thank you. Yes. Right, 7.3, then down to 6.5. They were deployed a second ago, but I put them away now. Sorry. It's because I have hardware, so I'm changing them without telling you. I should be clear when I'm streaming. That I should tell you that I put them away. Yeah, there's something here going on. Thank you very much, Lauren V. I did already forget, so we'll contact Tower now.
The 10 degrees Z.
I'm going to make my life easy then. Let's activate the approach phase and pull the speeds, and we'll just do 170 ourselves. Let's go to flap 2. Flaps 2.
Thanks, Chad. Great to see you. Good flight.
Just to build in some breathing space here while we deal with tower and further descents. Let's come back to 160. Don't want to be too slow. There will be traffic behind us.
Queenstown Tower, back 108.
How far away from the thresholds? 15 miles out. We're about 5,000 feet above the ground, so that works out about right. So yeah, we need to keep coming back on the energy now because we're about on profile for 3 degrees. Tower, good morning. New Zealand 613, nav Yankee 05. We're about 14 miles out.
New Zealand 613, good morning. Continue approach number 1.
Continue approach New Zealand 613. Alexandre Chan, thanks so much for the €10 super chat. Camera crew prepare for the landing. Really appreciate it, Alexandre. Really very kind. Thanks so much for the kind donation. And yeah, it is time. Prepare for landing. Let's give them the bing bong. Oh yeah, we should have done that. Let's hope they can get them ready in time. Through 10,000 feet. That all happened on the approach. There we go. And we did the below line of the approach checklist. Yes. So next we're landing. Good. So you can see here how the energy becomes an issue. I'm just going to manage the speed. So it's getting down. It's going to get to Amubo at 3.1, which is our platform. That's spot on. But that will not give us any room to slow down the energy because from there we're starting a 3.2 degree descent. So that's what we're aiming to do. And that's why that's my lesson from this, which what I expected is make sure you have the energy back as you come around that turn. It looks like it's a long distance, but it's also because of those altitude restrictions, you're sitting high. So thanks so much, Alexander, and thank you, Pol9, for the 11.99 super chat. Really appreciate it, Pol9. Ready for landing? Yes, we are. So I've got all my excuses ready. Last minute visual, never flown this before, short runway. All these things are ready to go. As my excuses. But thank you so much for the kind donations, Alexandre and Pol9. Really appreciate it. Okay, so got the recorder running. 350 says my SOP doesn't allow flight below S speed with flaps 1. Would have gone flap 2. Yeah, well, that's an airline thing. Some airlines might say that. I've not flown for one that minds. It's not too common, but it's totally possible because I don't think we needed flap 2 out for that whole first part of the approach. It's worked out quite well with the energy here. We're back slow on the speed. We're getting to Amubo. So what I'm going to do now, I'd like to have been an outstar, but I'm not going to be. I can see the VDEV is slightly above us and descending towards it. We're on the LDEV. Let's arm final lap. There we go. App nav, final blue. Thanks for the follow and subscriptions.
We're going to be at full stop now.
We're waiting for our clearance. Going altitude is 9,000 to go in. So yeah, there's the radio altimeter. So it's come over the water, 1,000 feet difference. So we said about 3,500, 3,600. So that works. So that tells us a good thing about the QNH. Of course, it hasn't mattered so much today because we are visual, but in real world flying, that would be a huge issue, especially if it was IMC. Let's just zoom in. And what I mean by a real issue is we need to make sure we get it right. Right, final lap. I'm just going to put the TCAS to TA only just because that's my fault for the server. So I'm going to leave it just flat 2. Down it goes. Get out.
There is an aircraft about a mile and a half ahead of you. I've just got Montet Bundy with them. Just getting to make a right-hand orbit.
Credit Foxtrot 87. We're turning right orbit right now.
Okay, New Zealand 613, surface wind 110 degrees at 2 knots, runway 05, clear to land.
Thank you, clear to land 05, New Zealand 613. That's worked in our favour. Right, flaps to 3.
87, you can join number 2
flaps to full.
Just off your,
now this is a new thing. This sudden nose drop is from the flaps 3. It's a bug with the Phoenix at the moment. We'll put 9 in the window. We'll go to
87. I did not understand. Sorry.
landing checklist, auto brake, medium, misapproach 9000, eco memo, landing there blue. Right, good luck to us. There's the go around if we need it. We'll make sure it's in nav. Only one autopilot. Look at this, absolutely stunning. So what a beautiful, beautiful bay. Yeah, this would be very cool.
87, Roger. Join the approach after here. This
A320 caution.
And this is the magic of these RNAV arrivals. It's just going to line us up perfectly. That is quite an intercept on that runway. 2 whites, 2 reds. Funnily enough, it came up as 4 reds on the other end when we did it. The other amazing thing is, you fly this sort of approach in the old A320s, and they fly them just as well as a brand new one that came off the factory yesterday. And they do it like this. And this was from when this airplane was designed when RNAVs weren't even a thing. So, just fantastic. Oh, look at that. 250 feet above the runway is the approved height for most final lap. Look at that. Just amazing. Minimums, autopilot off. Narrow runway, looks like anyway. 2 white straight. Look at that, it's like an ILS, just incredible. Now we don't want to floater here, we want to actually land.
50, 40, 30, 10,
idle.
5.
There's touchdown. Bit of a bounce there.
Coming back to your port right now.
And we've got reverse decel. Get the energy out of the airplane. We did touch down the second time in the zone still, so that was good. 70 knots, reverse idle.
New Zealand 1-1 Tango.
Brakes released. Right, here's a turning bay. Let's see if we can do that. Ah, don't stop. So we can't use that taxiway. So get the nose wheel right over. You can basically line yourself up with it. Sheldon says, old livery, better livery. Yes, exactly. Right. Just running up that engine on the right. There we go.
And New Zealand 613, any chance you can do a high-speed backtrack?
We'll do our best. New Zealand 613. Right. Got to get off the runway.
Actually, Foxtrot 87, it's not going to work, so I'll tell you what, cancel your touch and go clearance, fly the runway, and then head towards the northeast.
Yeah, that's a bit slow. A bit slow there on that turnaround. Right, what we don't want to do is go off the runway, because, you know, if we put the airplane on the grass, no one's going to thank us for that. So, yeah.
Confirm, overfly the runway.
We did get a replay of that.
Head out on the circuit and do another circuit at altitude, and I'll resequence.
Where are we vacating? That's my question.
I can understand.
Alpha 4, I think. For New Zealand 613, where would you like us to vacate?
613 to standby.
Okay. Well, not there, because that's just going to join the Alpha. We know that's too short. Must be Alpha 4. I can't see any other way off.
She's under 613. She's a bit full, but I'll tell you what. Make the left turn, Alpha 4, and if you go straight ahead, gate 2 is free. So basically, it's straight up off Alpha 4 to gate 2.
Alpha 4, gate 2. Thanks so much, New Zealand 613. Thanks so much for your help. Alpha 4 is...
It's great to see you. She's got really busy at Queenstown this morning. There's hardly any gates left.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I hope it's not been too chaotic for you. Right, that's Alpha 3, so we'll take 4.
No, I love it. I love it.
Nope, go on an airplane. The real aircraft's easier to manoeuvre on the ground, there's no doubt about that. And 2 is in front of us.
0 degrees, 2 knots.
Landing lights off.
Runway 05.
Strobes are back in auto. Ooh, when did I do that? Anyway, they would have been on in flight. Flaps are 0. Ground spoilers disarm.
And Foxtrot 80.
AP off moment.
You just make one
and actually,
orbit at your current position, then you can join an immediate right base for runway 05.
I think 2's right in front of us.
Foxtrot 87, after the landing aircraft, right base immediately, runway 05.
Do we have a parking stands?
Thank you, sir.
Yes, 2's just on our right.
And so 9 miles be number 2 behind the A320.
It's all going chaotic out there. Maybe we'll jump in the drone for a bit and have a look. So replay is coming. I'm actually going to put the flaps back down for the replay. This is so yeah, the after landing flow, and so we're not actually doing it properly here. But we'll just jump into the drone and go and take a look at everybody else. So I'm going to leave this all as it is. Welcome to Queenstown. We've finally chosen to come and visit. So I'm just going to set the brake and leave our airplane sitting here. Right, let's go see.
Foxtrot 87, number 2 on the
There's
approach.
one
line,
colleague.
A320. That's your 3 o'clock short final 05.
Foxtrot 87.
Just give the drone a bit more flexibility.
Foxtrot 87, that
So there's
was
some
the
visual
first
flying going on up there. You wouldn't normally put the TCAS to tier only, but I did that just for the practicality of how busy it is suddenly. Mateo says, I'm parked right to your left, Captain, waiting to leave for Wellington. Excellent, Mateo. I hope you have a good flight. Thanks for coming along today. Thanks for all your help and advice as ever, and everyone else who's been so helpful in the chat. Stephen says, why did the 320 go into VS mode on landing, 600 feet per minute in the window? That's because as you cross the threshold, as long as it was coded to the threshold, it would actually stay in final lap, right until it gets to the threshold, and then it will revert to heading VS. So that's what it does there. So that's normal. That's what you would expect. Yeah.
In about 1 or 2 minutes ago.
Yes, you did. We've got a bit of a mess, so I'll tell you what. I'm going to have to get you to go around. Once you're into the airfield, please contact Queenstown approach 125.
Nicely down in the touchdown zone. Yeah, we did a little bit of a. We came down with a little bit too much energy. Did a bit of a bounce, a bit of a skip, I would call it, and then up. So you might have heard that ECAM caution during that landing. That was because during the first touchdown, I put the reversers out, and the airplane didn't settle onto the runway quite as I'd hoped. So it was probably sitting a foot or two off the ground for a second there. But because you got the reverse selected, it will give you the caution. It's what the real aircraft does. Ask me how I know. Right, so someone's going around. It's all going on out here. I'm not sure what aircraft this is. We've got one up there. I use linear sensitivity for the TCA, Kieran. Yeah, linear for the Phoenix. Not sure who this is or what this aircraft actually is, but it is a VATSIM traffic.
Alright, Foxtrot 87,
but yeah,
right hand orbit.
Oh, they're having to go around again, just like they did in front of us. But yeah, the it's because of that backtrack. That's what's messing things up here, which you wouldn't have to do on the other end. It was a beautiful approach, but I really enjoyed it. I've got to say the other approach is stunning as well. But I say this one has a bit of a more aesthetically pleasing approach because of this sort of hill over here. But yeah, this backtracking thing is interesting. You'll feel pilots tense up when they realise the plane in front has to backtrack.
Around the apron looks like gate.
Must be a light aircraft. Yeah, I agree, Laura. Yeah, makes more sense than a 330.
Backtrack 05 vacate, Alpha 4, stand 7. Thank you. New Zealand 1 Tango.
New Zealand 1 Tango. Did a fantastic job. Follow this in.
Good morning. New Zealand 331 was to you. We're at Flight A320 NEO Gate 8. We've got a QNH of 10.
Absolutely love that livery. Absolutely love it. Just so pretty. Looks great on the 320 as well. Really works well on it.
New Zealand 321, good morning, Queenstown. Stand by 1 shake. Break, Foxtrot 87. Can you, from your current...
Vuj2 says, great landing. You could do this for a living. Thanks, Vuj2. Really appreciate it. We'll see the replay shortly.
Foxtrot 87.
Pol 9, thanks so much. Pol 9, sorry, I totally missed your super chat. Let me just run it again. Again, incredibly generous, $23.99. Pol 9 says... oh, no, Pol 9 doesn't say anything. I get a description written out here. Hippo character flies around and does a V sign with his hands while the word victory appears in the background. Thanks so much, Pol 9. Really appreciate it. Ah, this could be Mateo? Thanks so much, Pol, for the very kind super chat. Really appreciate it. The Hippo. I haven't seen it before.
Clear through to Wellington as filed. MPO 3 departure, Pinjo transition.
Oh no.
Squawking
Doesn't sound like Mateo to me.
321 reback, correct advisory to push and start. Break. Foxtrot 87.
Simon video landing. Thanks very much, Simon.
05, clear to land.
Bikesdale says, quick question, can I go flaps 1 from flaps full if I'm above F speed? I'm not sure I follow the question, sorry. Apologies. Thanks, Elitis. Thanks, Pol 9. You're very welcome, Pol 9. Really appreciate it.
What is approach done? Okay, this isn't going to work. I'm going to have to get you to go around.
Oh no.
The runway contact
it's unraveling. They've it's really challenging with that with the backtracking, and we're probably a bit slow. So New Zealand 406 is departed.
224, I'm going to have to get you to go around runway heading east of the
Oh no, they're on the go arounds.
Queenstown approach 125 decimal, give in flight.
And the
Going
224.
around runway heading east of the field and then back to approach New Zealand 224.
It's also going around.
175, 5,000 Yankee 05 approach.
Oh no.
And he's on 224, that's Christchurch 129 at decimal 3.
Foxtrot 87, I think we have to go around. We didn't get a landing clearance.
Foxtrot 87, I did clear you to land.
Foxtrot 87, say again.
Yep, you are cleared to land.
Oh dear. I suppose
Foxtrot 87,
if they're small enough, they can do it still. There they go.
Seabird 838 needs you to...
So, what we've got here,
on,
this is the 224 in the go around. So they're already on the way around. The Speedbird is also, I think they're holding off on the approach. They're out there somewhere. But we do have
last station calling Queenstown Tower, so again the call sign.
one more aircraft on final, the New Zealand 175.
Queenstown Tower is just started 279.
So the 175 is out here. I think they're going to be the first one that actually gets to land. Yeah, it's that backtrack that's unfortunately made it all a bit difficult. That's good scenery for default, really nice. There's Mateo.
GFR 59, read back is correct. Advisory to push and start.
George, that's the most stressful approach I've done in a while. Yeah.
Town, New Zealand 175, 3,200 feet on the RNAV.
Thanks, Kelpie. Thanks so much for coming along. Sorry, I missed that comment.
175, continue approach number 1 and report your minimum approach speed.
Shonov says runway heading that work well until the mountain comes out. Indeed.
One on the approach, minimum
yeah,
approach
that's Mateo off. I bought the Any Scene scenery for Christchurch before the stream. I must say it's beautiful. I put some screenshots on the Discord. Thanks, George. Yeah, do that. Yeah, always interesting to see. Here we go.
175, 130 knots, minimum approach.
So we'll watch the 175 land, and then we'll run our replay.
And report at 3 miles.
Report 3 miles. I'd forget that straight away. I'm so bad for that.
And 3 mile,
the way I remember that is I write it into the scratch pad 3DME. No, you're not working on a DME here, but it's a phrase that works anyway. So they're about to fly. The 175 is about to fly. The really fun bit. So I was super impressed with the coding there of the Phoenix and Microsoft Flight Simulator together. That was spot on. That's just how I would expect it to look out the window, and it lined up with the runway perfectly, just as the real aircraft would. And it's the amazing thing that these aircraft from the 1980s can do these RNAV approaches to that level of precision. It's just excellent. And you wouldn't have been visual until about here, potentially, and it's all very safe. The gear's coming down. Yeah, that's good. I haven't seen that before. Why is that? Is that because we're using FSTL or whatever it is? Is that what allows that to happen? Daniel B says, enjoyed flying long as New Zealand 11 Tango. They're a bit weird saying good morning at night. Yes, that's the fun part I've been having as well. I didn't add it into vPilot. No, I didn't do that. How do I do that? Do I need to do something in vPilot as well? There it is. Oh, it says it's on. No, it says it's on. I don't know why it's not managing. More investigation required. True, VMCGHD, that's absolutely true. The computers are updated. They're software driven, so still. But still, I still think it counts as impressive. that they were designed in such a way that they could handle what this is all about. Beautiful. Excellent. Is in the community folder. Find FSLTL VMR file is in the FSTL base folder. Okay.
175, you're cleared to
I'll need I might need some help in the Discord for how to set up vPilot to actually do the deliveries. It's got some things written there, but it obviously hasn't worked fully.
Yeah, Queenstown Tower, New Zealand 321, ready for push and start.
New Zealand 321, you're cleared to push and start.
Reindeer Logan says, didn't even realise I wasn't following you. Oh dear. There we go. Right, that's the 175 down. They're backtracking. There are some colleagues out there. I'm sorry to them that they've had to go around, but hopefully they enjoy the go-around procedure because it looks spectacular and they get to fly that lovely approach again. We're now going to check out and provide a free stand so that these aircraft can arrive back in. So, off we go from VATSIM. Thanks so much to the VATSIM controllers. Absolutely brilliant.
And the New Zealand 1... disregard. Break. FX 498.
They are working so hard. This is such a small airport to have this level of traffic. It wouldn't happen like this in real life ever. Absolutely brilliant. Doing a fantastic job keeping their cool with everybody. So thanks so much to the controllers. Right, we'll disconnect, give them a chance, and let's go into the replay. Utterly beautiful. No surprise there. Round we came and in. This delivery just works in this environment. Round we go. That little wing wave onto the runway. Beautiful. 2 whites, 2 reds. Beautiful. Just what we want. So let's just see what happens. Just a little skip there, no problem at all. Down we go. Obviously the spoiler is deployed, which it doesn't do on the replay. And there we go. That's what we can ask for, really. Just try. Let me think. Why didn't the spoilers deploy there? I know what we can do if I do that and that. Then we'll try that again. Right. Look at that. It's just stunning. Yeah, normal flare. I'm a little surprised it lifted up again, frankly, but there it is. Down we go. Medium auto brake, max reverse, no problems at all. Getting it stopped. Thanks, George. Really appreciate it. Yeah, that'd be great. Oh no, James got lost. Oh well, maybe we should have gone around, and then people behind us could have landed, and then more would have got in. But there we go. Right, out of the drone. Yeah, this didn't help. That we came to a grinding halt. Right, let's put ourselves back out on approach. Let's give ourselves a lovely wing view. Oh no, actually what we need to do as well. Zoom. Away. Put that there, put that off. Arm that. Okay. So that's it. I hope you all enjoyed our flight to Queenstown. It's something we've been needing to do for a long time. I think that's going to be a good view. And yeah, it was as stunning as promised. Thank you to the amazing air traffic controllers we've had all of today. Utter treat to have such experience and such professional and enjoyable colleagues. Thanks to especially to Grayson, but thank you to all of the controllers as well. Thank you to all of you for coming along and chatting. It's been a real privilege, and you've helped a huge amount for me, because this is obviously well out of my comfort zone to be flying around in New Zealand. So I absolutely love experiencing this and getting the local knowledge of those of you in the chat. Thanks to those who've kindly donated. Really, really appreciate it. Thanks for supporting the channel. Thanks, of course, to the moderators for looking after us. It makes a big difference having you all here to support the stream. So really, really appreciate it to the mods. So thank you as ever. Thank you to those of you just watching along at home, those of you who've been chatting, and those of you who've just been watching. All appreciated. And of course, those of you who flew along. There'll be more videos and live streams coming soon. I know that they're relatively spaced out at the moment, but yeah, I do really enjoy the streams, and there's more video content that we've got to get sorted. So plenty to come. We will be back in the A320 NX soon. The Phoenix. I know we did a lot of Phoenix over the last few weeks, but yeah, the Phoenix had to be done for this one. I wanted to put it through its paces, and it's behaved absolutely admirably. A couple of things still, but lots of things it did just spot on, especially where it mattered with that final lap approach. Absolutely love it. So I'm going to leave you then and say outro music is coming. Thank you all so much. Do keep safe and well, and we'll see you again in another video or live stream soon. And see you next time. Thank you all again.